This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. What's going on? It's the X&C Podcast. Well, I mean, if you're here and you watch the intro, you got like the whole station identification, the professional productive trailer, and it's episode 156. And I'm here with not Mag. I'm here with my really good friend. Hey, can I give you an intro? Can I do that?
Yes.
I'll give you a...
Do me. Do that to me.
Bill Biv DeVoe says, do me. This is Red Wolf, and he's a content creator, small, un poquito. He also, he covers Starfield, RPGs, survival games, Starfield, Cyberpunk, Starfield,
Bethesda
Witcher,
games.
Bethesda. Yeah. Hey, shut up.
Don't forget about Starfield.
Geralt modded into Starfield and just the like. And I brought you on the show because I don't really know you, but I thought I like your content, so why don't you come on and do the show with me? How about that? Why don't we do that?
How about that? Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on. And I am so excited today because you know how I'm feeling?
Just like I've been a nasty girl, nasty. I've been a nasty girl. Just like
That's right, everybody.
nasty girl.
What?
Everybody to the X&C Podcast. I've been a nasty.
And everyone's getting the Dollar General gas. So welcome everybody. I'm sorry, I'm like on behind the scenes making sure everything is working. It looks like mics are on, cameras are. We're glad to have you. I'm glad to have you, Red. And we haven't talked.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's been a crazy day, and you said I've had a rough day.
Week, month, evening, the past 5 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm like glistening with 96-degree weather up here, and it's humid and it's hot. I hate it. I hate it.
Well,
I hate it.
I have a little pool, one of those above ground like Costco deals, and I was mowing the lawn today, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna jump in the pool for 5 minutes. So for about 2 songs with the Bluetooth speaker, because I can't float. I'm too heavy.
Oh, you're just like in place, moving like an NPC up against the wall, just like.
What a great
everybody!
What a great show we're about to have. I put in my earbud.
Yeah.
We're doing the show. It's like battery low. I'm like, what?
Battery low, cholesterol high, stress level high, Bluetooth connected, battery off.
That's the worst thing about like talking electronics. You're like, I just want to play a game, and it's like Bluetooth connected, headphone connected to Xbox Live. Now accessing your social security number. Battery low, headset, hi-fi on, bass boost off. It's like
Signature sound on. That'll be $9.95. Headset off.
Dolby Atmos deactivated.
Right. Oh man, I love it. Technology is the best. It's the best, especially when you have these earbuds. We have similar earbuds, and if you touch it, you're like, let me just
push it back
take
in
it out
here.
of my ear, and it's like bass boost on. I'm like, I did not. I'm just trying to take it out of my flipping ear.
Dude,
Back
it
to
sounds
my
weird having you
flipping
over
ear.
here. I got to put this. I can't do it.
I'm used to the left.
Yeah,
I know it's so weird. So I'm like, what was that? Who was that? If it's in the wrong ear,
I'm pretty sure both of my
get it.
ears work the same, but over here it didn't work for me. It wasn't sound
I know.
right.
I'm sorry. Wrong hole.
So, it's been an interesting week, and we have a great show for you. I mean, at least Red's going to try to have a great show for you. We're going to talk about some news with Xbox. We got some new information about Halo that we're going to talk about toward the end of the show. We've got a bunch of stuff. We're going to give away a couple of these Gears E-Day coins that Ben Kenobi, he put together, these amazing coins. I got one here. I always put it on the camera. Where'd it go? Someone stole it. Here it is. Here it is. It's a great coin. Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh man,
They're so cool. So
love that.
We're going to give away 4 of those to people in the chat, moderators. Shout out to Yorana Kizada and Happy Bomb and Fonz Gaming, who are in the chat with the wonderful blue wrench that says they can take care of all trolls. But everybody's amazing. It's been amazing time. Red, let's talk about what we've been playing as video game podcasters. It's kind of our prerequisite that we know what we're talking about when it comes to playing games.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
I have been playing Dragon Age. Specifically, so I started Dragon Age Origins, beat it, put like 70 hours into it, and that was like about 2 months ago. And then I started playing Dragon Age 2 because I am excited for Veilguard. And I wanted to really, and I'm sort of putting together a video for this because I wanted to see when Dragon Age started to change from what people loved about Origins, and took that love. Like I love the franchise. I love Dragon Age franchise. I can't believe what they're doing. I can't believe what they're doing to my franchise. And so I wanted to see like
sound
when
like
stuff
Soundwave
started
from
to
Transformers
change.
on crack.
I know exactly.
Say Autobots
roll out. It's like
say Autobots bad, Decepticons good.
Autobots bad, Decepticons good. Oh wait, I can do my Jabba the Hutt. You mean do Jabba the Hutt?
No, I don't want you to do Jabba the Hutt. But all right, I'm gonna change this to a solo show.
I should go.
So, about 15 years ago, a
Dragon Age.
YouTuber did a Transformers spoof where he redid all the voices and made it like really unhinged. And Soundwave does that song. Autobots bad, Decepticons good. It's like a song he sings in that voice. Dr. Smooth.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those, that thing that people used to do back in 15 years ago on YouTube where they would just take like old G.I. Joe or Transformers cartoons or whatever, and they would just redo all the voices. But that was one of my favorite things back in the day when the movie was new.
They would do like the abridged version. Like I know people who love Dragon Ball Z, but they've never seen the show because they watched Team 4-Star, which does all of Dragon Ball Z, but they do it completely, and they do such good impressions of all the characters, and it's so funny to watch. It's like it almost feels like it's real until you realize that it has to be
believable for them to say, like when Optimus Prime swears, I'm like, what,
right, exactly.
Was this just not how they put it on TV? Because he does all the background noises. But before I talk to you about Dragon Age, because you're about to get into that, I want to shoehorn this in. I'm a big Transformers fan because I grew up on it. But the Transformers Cybertron games, there was 2 of them back to back in around the 2010s. They were appearing listed on Steam and I think on Xbox, but you can't buy them. But I've been searching for them like regularly to see if you can buy them because they've been delisted due to licensing. But apparently a report yesterday was you could find them on Steam, but you couldn't buy them. And maybe Activision is like cooking up some stuff. I know you probably haven't played the Cybertron games, but do you know about them?
Yeah, man, it was what, like 2012? Oh, those. Yeah, probably. No, I remember third person shooter-esque, right? I remember it was like it was right after Darksiders 2 came out. I went over to a friend's house and he's like, "Bruh, this game is lit. This game is lit." Like Gaz,
People didn't
he was
use
like,
that word back in 2012.
Sorry, but yeah, sorry, Chad, I'll stop for now. But yeah, the thing is, like, I'm not like a big like robot guy, but I guess Transformers might be the exception because it's, especially after the movies, I really like the movies. But I know people really, really love those games. So more backwards compatibility. Let's bring them back, man. Let's bring them back.
They were
Get some more
good
Transformers
because
games.
they were Gen 1. They took place right before the Transformers came to Earth. And so like when Bumblebee transforms, he transforms into like this futuristic Volkswagen Bug without headlights, like just the shape of a hovering car is what he turns into, which is kind of how they did it in the cartoons. So Optimus Prime is like this futuristic looking truck without wheels, but he hovers like right off the ground. And when you're in vehicle mode, you strafed like the Batmobile, which came later for Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Just like that combat, but like you could do that whenever you want, all the time.
That's
Anyway, they're great. I think we're going to hear something, and we always wondered about Activision and Blizzard. Where's those games that, Xbox promised us that they were going to bring through Back and Pat? They're going to bring this library to Game Pass that now belongs to us, so to speak. Where are those? Maybe this is the indication there's going to be some cool games that come back that, maybe the first couple Spider-Man games. I don't know.
Yeah,
just something to think about.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Like, that's our backdoor into Spider-Man. That didn't sound right. Let's try this again. Let's try that again. Chat, calm down. We're not getting that.
Welcome to the XC podcast. Let's just start the show.
Let's just start this again. Let's start this over. Sorry. Here, let me just play some music for you guys. Here you go. We're just gonna get ready.
God.
All right, sorry. Little refresher. All right, palate cleanser. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, a lot of people are really wanting the Spider-Man games to come because they think, like this is our only way to get Spider-Man games on Xbox. On Xbox, yeah.
We got to get those 72 meta Spider-Man games on Xbox immediately.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I guess
and
the
then
first
watch the
one
scores
people really
go
liked
up.
it.
Yeah, which you mean the first one?
There was two of them.
McGuire?
There was the Amazing Spider-Man, then the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
I played a couple minutes of 2, but people did not have nice things to say about the second one. But fans seem to really like the first one. But it's not even those. Yeah. It's the, what was it, Shattered Dimensions and 2099, the other ones that Activision did.
Yes,
that are like fan favorite. That's what you're talking about.
Web of Shadows is the one, right, chat? Tell me the truth. Web of Shadows is the one that people absolutely love because you had a lot of freedom. There was a lot of like legacy characters from Marvel Universe, like X-Men characters. Luke Cage, Wolverine shows up, stuff like that. So it was a really good Spider-Man game. But hey, if it comes out, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But that was one of the ones that people love.
Didn't Activision also do the Deadpool game?
Yeah, that's right. I actually own it. I would get up, but I'm naked from the waist down. But I have the Deadpool game. It's so hot right now. The Deadpool game is so funny. It is so funny. It's so hot. Horner. What did you just break?
That was the coins shaking. I've got all of Ben's coins right here.
They just fly up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I have to get I have to have my hands all the way up here to show up on the camera. I was all the way up here. Wait, where's my hands? Oh. So
this is me resting my hands on the on the edge of on the edge of time.
So nice in here. So do you come here often? So
I just like to chill out, hang out. You ever do that? You ever hang out, be right? You ever do that? Be ready. All right. Anyway, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna hear something. I just thought I would shoehorn that in because if I tried to bring it back later, we wouldn't care. But
we don't. Yeah, exactly. It's all news.
You were talking about Dragon Age before I interrupted you with the shoehorn news piece. You're one of those guys that's excited about the Veilguard, and I'm kind of with you, but I'm one of those non-avowed people. It's because you were kind of one, right? With avowed, some people are I'm not quite excited yet, and I'm sort of that way with Veilguard, but I would love to be reined in. So speak to me about Veilguard and your journey through the Dragon Age games. You were saying.
Yeah, so basically Dragon Age Origins was dark fantasy. Everyone really latched onto that game because it was sort of a breath of fresh air. Well, I don't know why that was hard to say. But it was because it wasn't just also a breath of fresh air. I don't know. Let's just continue. Let's move on. Sorry. Anyway, all right. So I should go. So Anyway, so everyone loved Dragon Age Origins, and they loved it was sort of like a CRPG, so it wasn't like direct combat. It was much more akin to KOTOR, where the action was sort of happening, and you were given commands, and you were watching your character do stuff.
That's everyone's favorite
Dragon Age 2, and that's everyone's favorite. So Dragon Age 2, immediately, they did a complete redesign of races, of like lore. They did so much redesigning from 1 to 2. It was a completely new designer. So they had a lot of concept art for the first Dragon Age game. And they had a new person come in and completely redesign like the races, like Kunari. They gave Kunari horns. They made elves not look like the Navi from Avatar and stuff like that. So Dragon Age 2 went with this totally new tonal shift that actually felt more like Mass Effect. So they brought a lot of really charismatic characters in.
I know, they're like going back and forth between what they think works at the moment.
Right. Exactly. And this is the thing people are upset about. So I'll just say this. There are so many characters in. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
It's the chat.
There are so many.
Alfonso Mendoza says breast of fresh eggs.
Breast of fresh eggs. I love that for you, Alfonso.
You know what, Chad?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna. You know what? Darn you! When the light's blinking and you're live, it's so you cannot ever say a sentence perfectly ever. I love it when I grab my phone. I'm like, "Hey Google, what do I for 5 ounces of?" Like when I just try to say simple thing while it's listening to me, I'm like, what?
And it's like, the answer is 5. You're like, thanks.
Don Henley. I'm like, what? Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
you were saying something
anyway,
about, you were saying something
okay.
about like
it's
how you have like the fetish for the girls with the pointy ears or whatever. Go ahead.
Pointy ears and the dudes with the horns, on their head and everywhere else and stuff. So yeah, so they changed. They changed. I love you. Love me.
He's got like a piece of parsley hanging off the edge. You got a little.
Exactly.
Hey Gorlock, you got a little
something there.
Kiss me.
Yes, Gorlock.
So anyway, the game went through a huge redesign, and they made a lot of charismatic characters, and characters, unlike Cyberpunk, where they have their own sexuality, they in Dragon Age are what the key term, I don't know, is they're player sexual. So just like in Mass Effect or other games where it's not like everyone has a sexual preference, it's just that this is your story as a character, so you can romance whoever you want. It's a big issue that people are taking with Veilguard right now.
Right now
this
it's
has
like
been
that.
happening.
Player sexual.
Right. The thing is, so I've been playing isn't that weird? So I've been playing Dragon Age 2. It's been like that since Dragon Age 2, and I'm like, oh my God, I never went back and like really taken a look at when did Dragon Age have a big tonal shift? It happened in the second game, and it's been like that ever since. And there's 3 games right now with Inquisition 2 and Origins.
Yeah.
So it sort of made me not feel so like, because people are like, oh, this is so jarring. And people are being extreme, but it's been like that since 2, and I was like, that actually makes me feel a little bit better. Maybe, hopefully, they can get the tone right, because a lot of people are saying like it looks like Fortnite. It doesn't look like Fortnite. The reveal trailer looked like Fortnite. The gameplay, it's really colorful.
It's really colorful.
It's
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But other than that,
it's sort of fair to say it looks like
Dragon Age.
Fortnite, but then again, sometimes you can't use that properly as an insult, because Fortnite looks amazing, but I think we were sort of either thought we were promised or implied that the Veilguard was going to be a more serious, dark, Witcher-like tone, and then you got like the Gimli guy, like the dwarf. He's like, "Yeah, you're right. These guys are effing a-holes."
Yeah, exactly. Like, toss me.
Yeah, they don't talk about those a-holes. No one talks like that in that genre. Like this will say, "Pick 3, my lord." But like I said, I really want it to, like, I don't know. I guess I'm just going to buy it. And I really want to play it and go, you know what? I like this. I really, really want that. I know some people like want a game to fail. They sure act like it, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm the same way as a fan. I'm not sitting here like pretending like I'm gonna love it no matter what. I am just being cautiously optimistic because it's been 10 years since the last Dragon Age game. And so people are different. 10 years can change a man or a woman or whatever. A lot. So
A lot.
let me just tell you, a lot. So it's been a long time. So
10 years
I'm just gearing up. It's a lot, man.
No, 10 years of,
Yeah.
you can see big changes in the way games look or things that work really well with genres and stuff. Yeah. I was just watching a video before this show. Xbox Ahoy did something about the Call of Duty franchise and how it came to be. And when he shows the difference between Call of Duty 2 and 4, I don't know what that year difference was. Let's say like 02 to 07 was like 6 years. The game went from to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was
So
my
cautiously
sidebar.
optimistic.
Yes, same. You know, we'll talk about Avowed real quick because you and I are like split on Avowed, where I'm really excited. I'm still cautiously optimistic, and I try to tell people that because Avowed has that same thing where people are like, "Oh, what if it fails like Redfall?" Because Redfall never looked amazing, like the graphics or the presentation never went, "Oh man!" And then Avowed kind of, in a lot of ways, doesn't look amazing. But when I watch all the footage and I made the video, I'm like, I'm really excited to play this. And I want to be swept away by Avowed. And I think you, like, where are you sitting with Avowed? I'll just speak for you.
So, okay, tell me. So, tell me how I feel. This is going to sound stupid and petty, or maybe not, but I am one of those people infamously very, people love first person games, and I do too, by the way. I love first person games. I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. Like, we'll talk about Halo, like Doom. I love first person games. I have an issue with RPGs specifically being locked to first person. And I really think that's all that it comes down to. So whenever we saw Immortals of Avium, and you remember that reveal trailer, it was this big cinematic. I'm like, dude, this looks like Lord of the Rings, but like in fantasy.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my, yeah. So it's gonna be pew 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 pew, yeah. And so
shoot my finger guns.
yeah. So,
that's my favorite
Go,
part of the
Web,
first
go!
Spider-Man movie when he's trying to figure out how to do the web, and he's like, "Go Web, go!"
yeah, he's like. Anyway, I probably should have done that, but anyway,
You're
let's
hold
say-
on, we've been pulled off of
stay on
YouTube.
target.
YouTube shut us down. It's over. What's my phone's
Oh
listening
yeah,
to
so
me.
first person in
Yes.
RPGs. So all that it comes down to, like Cyberpunk was the same way, and except I really came around on Cyberpunk. It only took me 4 years or whatever. Cyberpunk is one of the best RPGs I've ever played. It was great. Would I have liked to have the option to go into third person? Yes. To see my character a little bit? Yeah. I forgot what the hell I look like. Heck, excuse me. What I look like half the time. I would have to like, I mean, you see yourself in the inventory and whatnot, but
you never get a third person camera in cinematics in Cyberpunk.
right. And I would have just loved the option. And I know, and even the Obsidian talked about, you can't just turn on a third person camera. It does not work like that. You have to design everything. I remember people saying that look at when the mod for third person came out for Cyberpunk. That's why there wasn't third person. Like running around, it's so
Have you
bad.
ever
And they're
looked
like,
at
see,
your-
that's why.
Have you ever looked at your shadow when you're swimming? It's like,
Oh my god, you look like a turtle, like without a shell. It's awful. It's awful.
well, Avowed Obsidian said that when they built the third person mode this year, I think is when they started building it for release. They said all you were was
Didn't know that.
arms, just floating arms attached to the player camera. And people don't
That's
understand. They're like, just yank the camera back. Well, some games are built like that, but Avowed definitely was one where it was just arms holding weapons. And if you pulled the camera back, you just have these detached arms. And all we've seen is that slow walk into camp. And I know you and I are like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's all that it took. And my imagination runs wild. So, yes, chat, that's all that it took for me to go, okay, all right, I'm kind of excited now. So then I started going back and watching the footage with that in mind. Like, I'll be able to switch in between whenever I'm running around, I'll switch to third person. Some scenarios in combat, if it's tight quarters and caves or whatnot, maybe I'll switch to first person. Just having that option is so nice, and we just don't have a lot of that, other than Bethesda games, of course. We're used to just expecting that from them. So I know a lot of comparisons to Elder Scrolls with Avowed, especially now, is happening. So anyway, I am much more excited for Avowed just because of that. Yeah. Sue me.
And hopefully
Sue me.
it looks amazing, because when you'd use that two-handed like flamethrower with your hands, it looks cool and Avowed, but you and I can imagine what it would be like if you're strafing with the camera while your whole body is like letting out this like stream of fire. It could really elevate the game. And I think what makes Avowed so special, and we'll end talking about Avowed as I say this, but I think Maddie said this really well in this video, Mr. Maddie Plays, where he's like, we don't know about like the tension and the push and the pull and the discovery that goes on in the game, because all they've shown us is like every weapon or every attack you can do and some biomes, and that's it. So I think when people say, oh, it just looks like last gen, or it just looks pedestrian, I'm like, that's kind of all they've shown you. And I'm hoping it we just get hooked when we play it. I really hope that. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, we covered a lot. I've got a few things I want to talk about today. And everybody, thank you for being here. We got over 500. Hit the like button if you're here. I'm here with Red Wolf from Red Wolf Renegade, his channel. He's at about 1,000 subscribers. I've got his YouTube channel linked in the description as the guest co-host. If you want to go there and sub to him, he does, 5 to 8 minute videos. He talks about games. He talks about updates to games or games that are about to come up, things that the developers are talking about. He breaks them down. He's one of the first to like break down all the additions to the new Starfield update, and that's just great stuff. And he just talks on the camera like this, like a dang fool. It's great. So go sub to him.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Oh, really appreciate you. Thank you, Donnie, for linking it in the chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah. I love talking about games, man. Love it. Just love it.
We live in a world, Red, where people would more likely want to talk about things that they can't stand, things that annoy them, things that are going to suck. And I know your channel has been based off of 98% of the videos are about what you're excited about and why someone else should be excited too, because I think that's the best thing when someone says, hey, this show is amazing. I think you'd like it because I know you and these are the cool things about it. And then someone says, hey, I watched your video. I love that game that you recommended. Hey, if you can do that in the world, in this world full of sorrow and turmoil, hey.
And hatred. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jealousy and envy.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, shout out to Jonas in the chat as well.
In the gaming industry,
Gorlock. Oh yeah, Jonas wants me to say that Red also has a podcast on Tuesdays called the Renegade Realm Podcast with 4 people.
It's whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
Gorlock. With 4 people, Red, that blue number, DeMarco, and a guy whose camera's broken, Assassin. But yeah, they have a good show. They have a good show. Check it out.
It's my son.
It's your son.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, thanks so much, man.
A little bit of news is broken this week that might interest some people. I'm not so hot on this one, but they're apparently doing a full remake of Dead Rising. In fact, today, an hour before the show broke, a couple hours before, they got a really weak trailer that shows you absolutely nothing. But Dead Rising Remake is coming September 19th, 2024. Red, are you a big fan of the original Dead Rising game?
Yeah, especially when it came out, because for its time, we didn't really have anything like that. Especially, you have this sense of urgency with the timer, and things are just like happening around you. And man, for you guys that remember the original Dead Rising, you're like, oh, what's this outside? Let me go outside. And then there's this truck flying around. Well, trucks don't fly, but you know what I mean. Going really, really fast, driving around, shooting at you, and you're like, and I'm dead. And that's the end of the game. So many great memories because it was a really dynamic game for its time, just in terms of things that are happening depending on what time it is in the game. And I know in this remake, it actually looks like they made Frank look like he looks now, but but then I don't know. It looks strange.
They
but,
made him look like the
whatever.
current Frank from 2016, but
Yes.
gave him the styling of 15 years ago or something like that, or 20 years
It's
ago.
really weird, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
He's got like the
whatever.
pompadour hair. He's like, he looks like the bitter beer face guy. If anybody here like grew up in the 90s or knows that. Yeah.
yeah, the guy who just woke up.
Yeah. One of the coolest things about Dead, and I didn't play much of the first one because I didn't get into the series till 3. And then, sorry guys, 4 is my absolute favorite of the ones I've played. There's something magical about 4 with the Christmas music, and going through the mall at Christmas is, I love that game, even though it's probably their worst one. But in the first one, you can go into the shopping mall, right? And you can pick up anything, like almost anything from the store becomes a weapon or something you could wear, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was like that was sort of like you would find toys and you're like, this is gonna be sick.
Like an
shooting
elf
zombies with
doll.
Nerf guns.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember getting like the Mega Man shooter weapon or whatever in the first game, and it at first just shoots like a big ball out of it, and you have to do something to actually turn it into the Mega Man blaster. I don't know if it was like a cheat code or something, but
Mhm.
those things were just so awesome. And the game was not mechanically. It didn't really feel great to play.
It's kind of stilted, but it was from that
yeah, it
era.
was-
What era was
Right.
Dead Rising 1? Was it like
2007?
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I think
it
it's 2007.
It might be dated for its time even back then, but one of the things I have to add in that made that game so incredible is you could pick up almost anything and it becomes a weapon, but they didn't just stop there. They gave each item a unique animation. Like if you picked up a golf club, he actually did a golf swing. He didn't just swing it like, you know,
Right.
most games you pick up something and you just melee with it. Like he would actually do a full thing.
And
So-
you could like hold the aim button and actually like hit golf balls at zombies. I remember that. It was that you're right, that was a really big feature. Or like you would pick up a guitar and you could hit him with it and it would make the guitar sound. You could also play the guitar too, and like with like certain electric guitars,
See that
couldn't
guitar?
you like use like
you can lick it.
you can lick it.
It is a special game. Like, do you think this remake is gonna do very well?
I think so, man. I think if Capcom has showed us anything, it's that nostalgia sells no matter how bad something looks. But the thing is, nothing bad that they've remade. Nothing. Let me try this again. Nothing that they've remade has looked bad. So I think they definitely have a pedigree for being the kings of remakes right now. So if anyone's going to put out a good remake, it's going to be
Who does the
Capcom.
Resident Evil remakes?
Capcom.
Because those look incredible. I'm sitting here thinking that's the same. I was very sure it was Capcom, but I'm thinking the brief moment I saw today of Dead Rising remake doesn't look like a full overhaul. Like when I play the Resident Evil remakes, they look like the current shiz, like right now.
Yeah.
And then when I look at Frank, he's like, I'm here to kick A and eat bubble shoes or whatever.
Jeez.
In Dead Rising 4, you could get the I'm going to say this guy's name wrong. The Street Fighter Amazon green guy. What's his name? Street Fighter Amazon with the orange hair.
Blanca?
I always say Blanca, but it's probably Blanca, right? You could get
Is it
his
Blanca?
outfit. Blanca. I think it's Blanca. Help us out, chat. Blanca from Street Fighter. Because he doesn't say anything. He's just like, Amazon or whatever it says. Brazil.
Look at my hair.
Wait, where does it say he's from in Street Fighter 2?
I don't even remember. In my head he's like
or
green
whatever.
with big Amazon hair, right?
Yeah,
Or am I
orange
combining
hair. So you
characters?
can go into this comic book shop in Dead Rising 4, and if you combine his outfit with the Razor boxing gloves or something else, it makes this music and you put it together, you put it on, and he has this fire breathing razor hands or something. It's amazing.
Right.
But I hope.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, like those. That's really what set Dead Rising apart from other zombie games. It was really the first of its kind to make you want to explore to find unique weapons and like every single thing you could pick up. Everything. You go to like a workout shop. Who?
I think Dead Island ripped off.
Dead Island?
They ripped off that half of it, right?
You.
Where you could grab this
you.
thing and the battery and this, and you could make because I played Dead Island first before I ever played my own Dead Rising. And I'm like, oh, this is where they got this. But I think you're right. Dead Rising did like really pioneer that. Help us out, chat. Did Koki's like clickbait headline, ha ha, and he doesn't know how to spell bait.
Clickbait. It's almost like Christian Bale, but with the T. Listen, guys, hit the like button if you're having a good old clickbaity time.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I love that. I love that for you. Hey, Koki. Thanks.
Yeah, if you think the Halo 7 thing is clickbait, think again. We're gonna cover that later on in the show. Yeah, I had been talking to people and like, hey, what's going on with this Halo thing? Is this Battle Royale? Is there ODST spinoff? And we've been talking about it behind the scenes and not talking about it on shows until I could get some actual information that was actually worthwhile. But now there's a job announcement, which we'll talk about later, which really just pretty much puts it in, it puts the ball in the court. So yeah. Anyway, the last part of the Dead Rising thing is, I'll ask you again. You think this thing's going to do all right? Think it's going to sell well?
I definitely think it will. I don't think it's going to sell like buku numbers, like or Koki numbers. I'm going to start using that now. When not like Resident Evil, because I think the difference between a remake of Resident Evil is that it's like 20 years separated from this everyone. Yadani said, quit throwing up gang signs. I'm gonna get clipped for all my for all my whatever.
Shout out
this
to my
means.
stock price crew. Yeah. Shout out to my stock price crew. Anyway.
What is that?
I'm just like so white that I can't say shout out to my crew. It just doesn't work. It's like shout out to the crew that rides around in the Subaru. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. With me, with my blue shoes and my crew. I don't know. We're doing fine. Everything's fine.
Sidebar. I don't go on Facebook, but somebody sent me something on Messenger, and after I looked at it, it went to my Facebook thing. And I'm like, I'm never on there. Like, because we stopped using Facebook like 10 years ago because our parents are on there. It's like we just don't use it, and I'm not trying to act cool. I'm old, but I looked at there, and one of my best friends from high school had like a recent picture of him, and I was like, oh, I haven't talked to him forever. And I look, and I'm like, he's starting to look like my dad. I'm like, man, he looks like my dad because we're getting up there in age, and I'm like, he looks like my dad. 30 years ago. Maybe he is my dad.
Is that my dad? Is that my dad?
Is that my stepbrother?
My dad did he go back to school? Dad, did you go back to school?
Dad, is this you?
Is that Miss Jenkins in the background?
Son, I didn't want to tell you when you were running around in high school with that guy. I didn't want to tell you. He's your brother. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Remember Mr. Anderson, the math teacher? Well, that's your actual dad. But I raised you.
He goes, remember Mr. Anderson, your science teacher? Yeah. Well, she's a she now, and that's your brother. Dad!
So let's talk about Dragon Age.
Those cursed are effing a-holes. Yeah.
Oh, man, God. Web Dave, what's up, man?
Can't wait to see you at the reunion. I guess we're brothers now. Send. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we got another remake that I know you want to talk about. Sorry, I'm seeing the replay and we look like idiots. Okay, so another one was I don't know how to say this guy's name, but the lead CEO of Ubisoft said they're making more remakes for Assassin's Creed, and Insider Gaming says they think they know which game is being remade first, and it's not what you'd expect. More at 11. Now we'll go to our station for these messages. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Thanks, Tom. Back to me.
So, Fame Scott's like, Daddy, no! Dad,
Fame Scott is back? Oh my God.
Darren's my brother. Dad, what did you do?
Fahim Scott is my cousin. Look at my twisted toothpick. Look at this, chat. Look at that. Look at that. Wait for it to focus. Just wait.
I'm waiting. It's like translucent right now.
It's good content.
It's like a
what
lightsaber.
What kind of magic is this? It is. What is this? Anyway, I just want to give a shout out to Fahim Scott because he's been gone for I don't know how long, and I just miss him trolling people in the chat. And Fahim, I hope you're doing well. I love it. I love that for you being back. Yeah.
All right, Red. What is the
Assassin's Creed?
What is the Assassin's Creed remake? What are they doing first?
After Skull and Bones, I am telling you right now.
After the failure,
Tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Hold on, I think I have an emoji for that. Try the lasagna. Send.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there it is. You got it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. I think it's going to be Black Flag. There we
Okay.
go. Yeah, that's what I think. But
why did you say after? Why did you say after Skull and Bones?
Because Black Flag, because Skull and Bones essentially was taken off the engine or idea of the ship combat of Black Flag. And I think, that game had to go through so many iterations. Like, should we have ground combat? Should we not have ground combat? Should we have combat where your feet are on the ground? Should we have combat where you have swords in your hands and you're fighting other people and you hovering above the ground? And then they said, let's just do away with everything that everyone loves and just put out a bad game. And then when they did put out that bad game, now they're like, you know what people will really like? If you do everything that we just said and have boots on the ground fighting. Black Flag remake, baby. That's the one. I'm telling you.
You know what would make Skull and Bones, this is like in the conference room. You know what would make Skull and Bones better, Rick? What? Black Flag remastered. That don't make no sense.
I don't even understand what you just said.
But that's the game. That's the one that Insider Gamer believes is, and it's sort of a criminal decision. Dante in the chat, Spriggan 113 says, "You guys love me so much." Wow, wiggle wobble. Really, it should be Assassin's Creed 1. Like, you should just remaster 1 first. I know they already sort of got remastered, but hey, I'm so on board for Black Flag being the first one. That's the one.
Right. And I know what's really jarring to me about, I would love to see an Assassin's Creed 1 remake. Because I still love the old combat style. It made you feel really powerful if you nailed your counterattacks and just instant killed people. I would love for them to bring that back and polish it up a little bit. One of the odd things for me, I went back and played Assassin's Creed 1 like 2 years ago. I went on this Assassin's Creed kick. I think I told you about that. Went and played 1 and beat the Ezio trilogy and went to 3 and 4. And I got into 1 and I expected Altair to have, like an accent of some kind. But he's not. He's just like, my name is Altair. And I'm like, what the fark?
I
that
remember,
was so weird to me.
I remember wondering, I'm like, maybe it's the animus that strips away the accent. So Desmond Miles can understand him. Yeah. But I always thought everything was so authentic in the game, like the way they recreated Jerusalem and Acre. It's not Acre. Acre?
Like Damascus and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you say that, but
Acre.
It's spelled Acre, but I think it's pronounced Acre or something like that. I don't know, but I've only been out of the country once. But AC1 is so good, and Altair's like, "What do you mean, bro? Give me the piece of Eden
I'm an assassin.
Come on, bro. Yeah. Lit. This is lit, bro." And he was gritting.
Don't tase me, bro. Yeah, exactly. He pulls out the apple of Eden and he's like, "Don't taste me, bro."
My kids hate it so much when I say Riz, Cap, or I'm gonna do the gritty. Dad, no, don't. Dad, what'd you do?
Oh, right. Oh, is that the Mr. Deeds? The no, daddy, no. Is that the?
It's like they hate it so much.
Oh man, I love it. What is Riz? Isn't Riz like a
charisma?
A pop star? Oh, I don't know.
It's just charisma. It's stupid.
Oh, that was a character from Greece.
Oh, not Rizzo.
Rizzo. That was
Yeah.
close. See,
Yeah.
see, I got
Skibbity.
culture.
Yeah. Yodani goes Skibbity Riz. Like I'll say Skibbity in front of my kids. They're like, Dad, stop. Yeah. They love it. They hate me. It's great. It's a great way of staying in shape too.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed 1, yeah, would love to see that come back also.
But I'm like, yeah, sure. Go out of order and do Black Flag first because I've wanted to go back and play that again. Because indulge me for a second. I'll make this quick. When that game was announced, I was like, no, we're done. Because you like 3, but I didn't play 3. Because when I saw it, I was like, no, this I'm done, right? And so when Black Flag was shown, I was like, lame. I was one of those guys back then. I'm like, lame, don't play it, dumb. Yep. They're milking it. And then Rad Brad puts up a gameplay video. He recorded like the first 25 minutes. He's like, hey, I'm going to show you the first part 1. If you hit like, I'll do a part 2. And I sat and watched it at work and I was like, I want this. I was like 3 minutes in the video. I'm like, I have to have this. And it completely changed me. Right. So it's probably, it might be one of my favorite first generation Assassin's Creed games. Even though I love 1 and 2 so much.
And you haven't played 3?
I have. I loved Black Flag so much that I went and bought 3 immediately, and I played it after I did like everything in Black Flag. So yeah.
Okay. Did you play the remastered version?
No, I played it back in what chat, help us out. When was Black Flag came out around 2011, 2012?
Well, Assassin's Creed 3 came out before the world was supposed to end in December 2012. Because this is interesting, because the narrative of the present day of Assassin's Creed was playing on the Mayan calendar of the world ending.
Even back then,
they released the game. Even back then. So the game released, I believe it's in November. In November 2012, I think is when it came out. So you're playing the game, and in real life, people are like, the world's going to end in December 2012. And so you're playing the Assassin's Creed 3 game, and in the game, they're like, yeah, the world's going to end. And you're sitting here like, I'm just going to finish this game before I die. So I was obsessed with it. But hey, look, we're still here. Or are we? 2013?
Yeah, maybe.
That can't be.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was 2013, which is, I mean, we were right at the end of the 360 PS3 generation, and they were shoehorning in major games that last couple years. I remember Saints Row the Third came out in 2012 or 13, but while we were waiting for the delay of Grand Theft Auto 5, like those last couple years, everyone was like just snacking down on games because all the big things were trying to shoehorn in before next generation. So I think they were yearly back then. So yeah, I went back and played just like weeks after I finished Black Flag. I loved it so much. And for the rest of the chat talking about which ones they like, I can't tell you that any of them I didn't like. I loved Brotherhood. I loved Revelations when I thought I wouldn't. So I don't know. People make fun of those games.
By the way, I want to stand by my guns because I remember this. I was traumatized by the Mayan calendar thing. It came out in October. I was, dude. I was so like, it was a not okay time for me. It released in October.
Superstitious, guys, like big time.
Yes, but well, not so much anymore. But like, I like to talk about that kind of stuff. Like Fonz, shout out to Fonz, who's got like the mysterious world stuff. That's sort of where I'm at now. But back then, I was like,
hold up, we got to take 10 seconds to say, Fonz needs to continue with that show. I talked to him the other day. And he said that he was busy with going to LA for everything. And he's like, oh, I'm not so sure. And I'm like, bro, like he's building something, I think, special. So Fonz, you're still listening. We want you to get your next one up and just don't stop. No,
never stop, never stopping. Right, anyway, exactly.
So you were worried about the Mayan calendar. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I knew we'd never get through the show.
Yeah. So it came out October 2012. Right before the world ended. And I love that game so much. I think the reason I love Assassin's Creed 3 so much was because it was like the bro version of like a Pocahontas story, which I think was like a lot of the inspiration for it. Like it had like this kid growing up. The intro of that game was like 4 hours long, man. It was so long, but just, like you're growing up with this character, you know, and once you grew up, Connor is not to be.
Hold on, you start out the first hour or so. You play as Shemway or whatever his name, Gordon Shemway. Wait, that's the Alf character. What's
Gordon Shemway? Isn't that the famous chef? Gordon Shemway?
Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Shemway, I think, is Alf's real name in the TV show with the furry puppet.
Oh,
you play
right.
as
like, hey, listen, I had to pull the poop out of my fur after a couple shots or whatever. Is that no? That's Kermit. I don't know who I am.
You play as you play as. Now I can't remember the guy's name in Black Flag. You play as his grandpa or his whatever. Hatham
Kenway. Yeah.
Okay, well I was close. Gordon Shem. My wife hates it when I get the
Gordon
names
Shemway.
wrong, but I get the syllables right. Gordon Shemway, Nathan. What Fillion? What's his name? Nathan.
Type this out so I can see it.
Yeah,
so I can see it.
Google Gordon Shemway.
Now I need to tell you the story about your great grandfather.
I think it's Shumway. It's Gordon Shumway is his name. If you Google that, it'll get you to the Alf picture.
Anyway,
you play as Hatham, whatever his name is. You play as the staunch like patriot guy, like Mel Gibson guy, like, for the first hour, and then you take over as the Native American kid, or well, I don't know what they call them. I think we called them Native Americans back when that game came out. But yeah, you play as that. Gilroy Shamrock Jonas says. Just Guerrero Shelley says this pod's about to be 5 hours, and we're still on the first topic. Yeah. What have you been playing?
That's right. Let's go back. Well, I didn't even ask you, Cole. What have you been playing? No, I'm kidding. We don't have to.
We don't have time. I'll say this. I've been playing a lot of nothing. I messed around with Destiny 2. I was playing some more Starfield stuff because you and I are kind of cooking some things. I was playing MLB The Show. I loaded up Elden Ring for a few hours. I loaded up Sekiro. So yeah, I have not got anything done. But you were saying, the intro for AC3 is just so long. Yeah.
Yeah. It just that once the game started to kick off, like you've been with this character for so long and seeing him grow up, and then once you get into combat. That first combat section out in the rain where you're defending Achilles, Connor is brutal. I mean, that game is brutal. It's because you got this hatchet. I mean, I think that's why I love it so much. Yeah, like he is just he is terrifying. He's not like, he's just like swift, and he's a big bulky dude too. He's just like swift and like he's just like a machine, man. I don't know. I just love Connor he's just a scary dude, and you feel like an animal. You feel like a predator, like a predator, not like a
AC does such a great job of making the main character like so cool, no matter what who they are. Like Bayek from AC Origins is so freaking cold and cool. I have another story to tell you about. So 2012 is when AC3 came out, right? The summer before the game came out, I was at some friend's house watching an MMA fight. Now I don't watch MMA, but I got together. I was I'll be social and go out and watch MMA at this guy's house. And during the commercial break, they showed a commercial for Assassin's Creed 3. And remember I told you I was already kind of off the Assassin's Creed thing once that game was shown? There was a commercial that capitalized on the MMA thing, and they said, you play as Connor Gordon Shumway, and he uses all kinds of mixed martial arts moves. And the narrators do it while they're showing gameplay. And of course, the gameplay on a TV comes off really hokey. And he's like doing like the hammer throws and the Superman punches. And I was like, I kind of rolled my eyes because I'm like, I already was kind of like, I'm done with AC at that moment. And all the guys watching the commercial started laughing like, oh, what is that? Oh, you need to leave. They were just making fun of it. And I was like, and I'm like a big gamer. So even though I wasn't hot on this AC3 back 2012, like just a couple years before I started doing my YouTube channel, like I was like a closet gamer. I didn't talk about it in front of a mixed company. I definitely wasn't going to talk about it in front of all these guys watching an MMA fight on pay-per-view. So I was like, oh my gosh, Connor's hitting the gritty on the prairie. And I was like so embarrassed. And then fast forward to not long later, I was like, I play games and I'm proud of it, but yeah,
Right.
Embarrassing.
It's
Connor
tough
knows
to
all the
be
moves.
like even fight. It's still like I told you at the time I had a work
Brazil.
event, and it was at this big. I don't want to get into exactly what I do, but I was at this big work event, and you're rubbing elbows with a lot of people that are on a different bar. I don't know, whatever. And they're like, "So what do you do?" And my partner was there at the time, and she was like, "Yeah, he does YouTube." And I'm like,
Uh-oh.
and immediately I was like, "You shouldn't have said that." And like, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, talk about yeah, exactly. I'm like, I should go. I'm about to throw up right now. I'm about to throw up. Yeah, and so immediately, exactly. Oh, I had this one thing. I wanted to remind you of this.
I have no idea how long it'll take him to get back. You never know with Red. Wait, what do you got to show me?
And someone said, "So how does that make you? How does that make you feel?" Please.
Wait.
Go ahead.
What do you do? Like they had a spotlight on you?
Razor.
Oh, I couldn't hear it because I couldn't hear the.
Oh, can you hear it?
Why can't I hear it?
I don't know. It's just
Was that
quiet.
you and me on the show like a few months ago when I had?
And you were like, you put the razor up to the mic and it turned on and scared you. Oh my god!
It sounded like it was
was the best.
It was a special toy.
Oh my god!
Bzzz.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry about that, chat. I just had to do that. Manscaping the mic. Dead Time says yes, exactly. This episode is sponsored by. That'd be great. Sponsored by Mag. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so I couldn't like formulate a good entry level explanation for someone who says, "What do you do in your spare time on YouTube?" And I'm like, I talk about the media industry.
You try to make
industry.
it sound not
like
nerdy or immature because
right. And I'm like, that's what I do. Yeah. And then she's like, so like you like stream on Twitch. And I'm like, you're
wearing like the bunny ears. I mean,
right. Yeah, exactly.
That happens to me all the time. Somebody will say, "Oh, I heard you do like one of those online things." Oh yeah. I have a YouTube channel. Like, oh, what do you do? Do you? They don't say it, but they're like, "Do you wear like bunny ears and go topless and play, games?" I'm like, ooh. So
right,
like,
exactly.
How long do you stream? Do you like play games and people watch you? I'm like, no, I don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But shout out to people who do.
Anyway. Yeah. Shout out to the people who do nail that and do that, Alex. Love that for you. Great. It works. It's working out great.
It works out so good for Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome.
He is awesome. Yeah. So I don't know where we were, but yeah, when people ask you about gaming, I'll put a poll in the chat and it'll be there before I say it's there because of the magic of the internet. But are you shy about being I'm going to say hardcore gamer? Because if you're here, you're probably, you play games, 10 to 20 hours a week, maybe. Are you shy about being a hardcore gamer? I'll just add in front of mixed company is what I'll call it. I think you guys probably know what that means. Like if you go to a Christmas party for work or at church or a synagogue or like what would be another mixed, just at whatever where people definitely aren't gamers. I'll put the polls up. Let me know what you guys think because I used to be very, very shy about being a gamer. And now I say it with my whole chest because I had to get over that. And luckily,
right. And I think, sorry.
No, luckily it's worked out to where people are here along the journey with me. As far as you get people who support the show or comment or here watching, like I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to say it with my whole chest if it wasn't for all of you. Like seriously, it wouldn't. If I was all by myself, I would still be not ready for it, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, True 77. Yo, bro. is such a good term, YouTube entertainment journalism, because which is still a good. You're covering things, you're talking about things. I mean, it is entertainment industry journalism, and I have sort of framed it that way when explaining it to people. But I think the great thing about like people in chat right now, over 500 people in chat right now. Whenever we're doing these podcasts, this is the safe space. Whenever people come in and they do feel like people can understand their lingo, you know what I mean? Yeah, for the most part. Fahim Scott. No, I'm just kidding. But where's Magnum? I say what she's out of there. But you know that is like the good thing about this community. It feels like empowering in a way, or maybe not empowering, just you feel like a sense of belonging, because gaming is sort of, it's still frowned upon. We're still in an age where there's a lot of people who just think it's, you know, they just sort of scoff at it like it's like as a child, like you're playing with toys, you know?
Yeah,
you know,
we're
people
not
are getting a lot of.
We don't feel like we're a marginalized group or anything like that, and it doesn't really mean anything. Like if you get in front of mixed company and you feel a little bit like, oh, I'm going to tell them I play games, how's it going to come off? Like, if you feel a little bit that way, like, you understand what I mean. And it's not the end of the world, but when, like, we go around a group of people like, hey, introduce who you are and what your favorite thing to do is, and people are like, I like to read, I like to golf, I like to fish, I like to hunt, I like to shave cats, and then I get to me and I'm like, I like to play Pac-Man and Mario. Yeah, but sort of how it feels. Because people say, oh, you game, oh, I used to play Mario, like, back in 1987, and I'm like, and I've said this on my show before, Red. I'm like, well, gaming to me, the stuff that I like is not really like that. It's like, I remember I said this to somebody at church when the Bourne Identity movies are really popular. I said, you know, like those Bourne Identity movies? Like, yeah, like, I play games that are like that, where you're in car chases, shootouts, and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, and they kind of feel like a movie, and they're like, oh, okay, I didn't really care anyway, and then they walk off. But let me read a couple of supers here.
Yeah, go for it.
And I forgot to say, Mag's not here. Middle-aged Game Guy is my co-host for Ecstasy, and if you're not missing his voice, or you are, he is out celebrating with his family on vacation for Canada Day, which is today, right? It is today. Yes.
Canada Day.
Canada Day. Canadian
Canada Day keeps the Canadian away. I don't know.
Yeah, the Canadian way.
Exactly.
Udana Kizada, thank you so much for the super. He says, Happy Canada Day. I hope St. Trudeau fills your stockings with bagged milk and the finest of maple syrup. Only if you were good Canucks that were not hosers. And he pretty much offended everybody with that super chat, and I'm here for it. Love it. Love it. Everything he said there is going to get him deported, and I can't wait to see it. Udani's amazing. I got to meet him in L.A., Red. I got to hang out with him.
No, man. God, I saw the pictures. I was, God.
He's so quiet, dude. Like, he's Mr. Chat on the chat, but in person he's just like,
right. Oh, man, that's the thing. Like some of the not the least outspoken people with the best humor. You will never know. You will never know. Udani is just a legend, man. So funny, man. Yeah, I'm so mad. I'll get there. I'll be there one day.
Yeah, well, we have to work on that. Yeah, I mean, it takes a while. That could be expensive to go. Angry Hippie, thank you so much for the 2. Says, Red Wolf, can you do GoBots Sysil? I don't know that character.
I don't know who it is. I said that to him earlier. I said, I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's a robot. Yeah. There you go.
I love how that almost sounds like a distortion of guitar. I love that. I love that for us.
It's Peter Frampton. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Do you feel like I do? Sorry.
I just saw a clip of Frank Welker, the guy that voices Megatron from the old cartoon. And they asked him on a panel, hey, how'd you get that voice? He's like, well, I wanted a certain voice. It's like kind of like a villain. And then he broke into the actual voice, and the crowd at the panel went crazy. And I was like, oh, because I was like in grade school when that cartoon was out. Biff Rinaldi, a member 15 months, says, until I get my PC, the last Spider-Man game I played was the one where you couldn't even touch the ground. Laugh out loud. Wait, was that the Amazing Spider-Man game?
Nintendo?
Or
Atari.
Atari had one that was really bad. Yeah, and I think he's right.
I mean, you remember the Spider-Man game for Nintendo 64 had the red cartridge.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. I don't even know what it looks like.
And like you couldn't even see the ground. You could hear the ground by like noises of the city streets. You could hear the ground.
So that's the one.
But you could that might have been the one. So you fall into like the fog, and as if it was like the endless doom or whatever.
And he's like, "Welcome to Spider-Man's next adventure, where he's taking out the freaking groceries and slipped on a banana peel."
Rips the sticker off of his helmet. You're fired, Peter.
Exactly.
A confession.
Man. Yeah.
A confession. I have really never played the Nintendo 64 really at all outside of GoldenEye. What were the big games?
Oh, okay.
I played Mario Kart a bunch, the Mario Kart 64 and GoldenEye.
That was it, yeah.
I never owned one, and my buddy had one. We would play GoldenEye and Mario Kart, but like when everyone talks about Dino Crisis, there was the 25th anniversary of it yesterday, and everyone's like, "Oh, I want to know." I'm like, I've seen Dino Crisis. I remember when it was new. I'm like, looks lame. I kind of had a real bad attitude about the Nintendo 64 because the games were, to me, at the moment, I thought they were so ugly.
Yeah.
Some of the PlayStation 1 games looked cool, but I just thought the Nintendo 60, and I know it's going to make me sound rude, but I thought the Nintendo 64 games were just butt ugly at the moment, and I still think they are. But that's gonna make me sound rude.
you had GoldenEye, which was the Halo of its time. You had Mario Kart,
and
which was
GoldenEye,
the Forza of its time.
Hold that. GoldenEye, when I saw it, I was like, holy crap. Like I've never seen anything. That's amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like GoldenEye was like like endless fun. And Mario Kart was the same. It was like you would alternate between GoldenEye. Someone said, Chris said WrestleMania 2000. Yeah, that was another one that I played a lot. I'm not even into wrestling, but I was like, you could just like beat the crap out of people. I don't know. It was like a lot of Nintendo games. Nintendo used to be good, guys. I'm kidding. But back then, we had the games that sort of set, like the way that we feel about certain games in modern day, those games made us feel that way first, like GoldenEye and Mario Kart, So yeah, I'll never forget that. Never forget my GoldenEye big head mode and stuff.
I remember the big head mode. Yeah, we played all Rockets 4v4 on one TV.
Right.
Yeah. And I wasn't even, I'd stepped away from gaming during that. So there were like these moments where I got to experience great genius of gaming at the time. But I remember seeing Mario, I can't remember what the Mario game was called, Mario 64. And I remember thinking, what? It's 3D? I'm like, how would you know where to go? Because my whole life, everything happened in left to right on the TV. And I was like, you'll get lost. You'll be disoriented. How do you know where to go? And the game just actually didn't look that great to me because I thought when you look at the Super Nintendo Mario game looks incredible. And then you had to really dumb down things to be in 3D rendering. But what were the big 64 games? Perfect Dark, NBA.
Perfect Dark, Spider-Man 64. It's got to be on there.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here. Colt's definitely going to be mean by saying butt ugly. Butt ugly is such an 80s or 90s term. Oh, it's so butt ugly.
Ugly.
That's
Back
a
when
buttload.
butts weren't pretty.
Now they're amazing, but now people are like, I got a buttload of butt ugly games. Buttload.
How did he fit all those games in his butt?
I always forget that you're young enough to be my son, but like a buttload was like an actual measurement in the 90s. See, Fonz is here.
It was.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling was the game. Pro Wrestling, I think he's talking about the NES game where you had Starman. He was like all pink. That game was incredible. And I didn't even like wrestling.
Me neither. I wonder if that was the same game where like you could like pick up weapons. I say like chairs and whatever, and just like beat people up. And you had the announcer. I mean, it's the same way wrestling games are now, I'm sure. But like back then, it was just so
butt nugget.
I don't know. It was so. It's a butt nugget.
Butt nugget's another one we use. You're such a butt nugget.
Sniff, butt nugget. Yeah, butt nugget. I remember that.
Had to get up.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, Star Fox. Remember Star Fox? Dude, Star Fox was the Starfield.
Star Fox was amazing on the Super NES. So I never played it on the 64. Maybe it was better, but I know the games are incredible on 64. I just never really got into them. And around the time the 64 was red hot, my soon-to-be brother-in-law had the PlayStation 1, and we had Gran Turismo, Metal Gear Solid, Fight Night. No, not Fight Night. Ready to Rumble, the boxing game. We had a bunch of great games.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I played a bunch of stuff. So I just kind of stayed away from the 64, and I missed out on it. But
yeah, a lot of hype back in the day for those. Yeah,
Dino Crisis, yeah, and Turok.
Dino Crisis,
yeah.
Turok. Oh, that was a big one. That was a big one for me. Black cartridge. That one.
It was,
yeah.
And you played as a Native American, right? With a
yes, and with a bow, and you had this club, and like you eventually started getting these really futuristic weapons. There was one weapon that stuck with me as a kid because it freaked me out. It was called the cerebral bore. And chat knows, if you know, you know. You would shoot someone in the head, and it would shoot this ball into like their face. And essentially it was a ball that would like rock around the inside of their skull and tear up the inside of their brain and kill them. It was called the cerebral bore.
And
chat,
back then the graphics would like give you nightmares.
And so, yeah, so you shoot someone, and the guy was like, oh, and his head would just explode.
Do you remember back then when they wanted to put a face on a character? They just took a flat photo and they just wrapped it
and folded it. Yes, exactly. Holly and I, that blue
like
number.
When you zoom in on GoldenEye, he's like, dun 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 dun.
Money penny.
Reminds you
What's
of
the next mission?
A prank where someone took a photo of their face and cut it out and put it inside a jar, and then put it in the fridge, and it actually looks like their head's in there. It's amazing. It's a great way to stay shit.
Holly and I were just we were just talking about that. She was like, wasn't Splinter Cell the game where you would take a picture of your face and you could imprint it on your character in the game? That was Rainbow Six Vegas 2. That you could actually take a picture with the Microsoft, the little round white ball camera thing, and you would take a picture of your face, and then you would get in game, and you'd be like, it would just look like the absolute horrific. And you're supposed to be like this tactical shooter, never blinking.
I need a tactical sit rep.
And you're just like, I got it, sir. Here I go. Let's go, everyone.
Bro, Duke Nukem 64, Benjamin Berardi says, Duke Nukem 64. I played that on the freeware version on PC, and that game's really cool.
Yes.
I need to go back to
Cruisin' USA.
Matt Booty, bro. Matt Booty worked on that.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's a legend. The soundtrack for that game. Oh, man. That takes me back.
Matt Booty he worked on Cruisin' USA, so like when he was making Perfect Dark, he's like, can you make it so when you double tap the trigger, she does like a wheelie and fire comes out the back?
I love that.
Can you imagine Matt Booty's in all the meetings? He's like, can we make it so when you drive over the there's not gonna be driving in the game. Can you make it when she lands off the plane?
There's no women
like,
in this game.
Cruisin' USA. Matt, we need you to leave. We're trying to have a meeting here.
Right.
We got on this whole thing because what was that Bifernaldi said Spider-Man doesn't touch the ground. Chris, thank you for the 2-pound super, says Mag's on vacation. Must be nice. That's something Mag and I say.
Must be nice.
Graham Man, thank you for the 2, says, I'll actually stick around since Mag isn't here. What a jerk thing to say. I love Mag so
my
much.
God.
Yeah, no, we appreciate
Don't make me turn up the crab rave. Don't make me turn up the crab rave.
What I should make Red look like Mag and talk like him. Alex, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, love the show, Colt. What's with the Halo news? You know, I don't like to keep people waiting, so we'll jump into that as our next thing. We'll just go out of order because I kind of write stuff down as I pick it up. We'll get to that in just a second. Biffernaldi, thank you for the 2. Says AC3 took place on the day it released. What? Is that what you meant when you said the Mayan calendar, like the modern day part?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was taking place in the
Desmond,
same
right?
time. Yep, it was still Desmond. So like it added like a level of like this like meta level of like, oh, this is like really happening. Like the world's gonna end whenever I beat the game. So it was so weird.
And
it was so weird because I was like really like not okay.
Were you worried about Y2K?
I don't remember that. Oh no, I actually do. I was at a house party and I remember a bunch of grown-ups shooing me into a room locking the door, turning off the lights, and I was crying forever. No, I'm kidding. But no, I remember being like at a house party.
I was along the ride with you. I'm like
I remember, but no, I do remember like everyone counting down, and then as soon as they got to 0 or whatever, the lights went off, and that was apparently like a very, common thing that people did at Y2K, because that's what the scare was, that all the computers in the world were going to shut down and whatnot. So they did that, and they freaked out everyone, and that's how I have it. That's how I had a brother, illegitimate brother.
Where'd you come from, Dad? Now, Udana, thank you for the $2 super chat. I gotta check in with my dad, see what he was up to back in '94.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be much before that. Yodana Kizada, thank you so much for the 2. I'm like so derailed right now. He says he was rubbing people's elbows and manscaping them. That would have been better if I read that earlier. Boner Jams, thank you for the $5 super.
Yeah.
It says, what time will we be talking about Mag will become the new member of the FaZe clan? Good evening, Silver Links. Silver Links. And Colt, have a great week. Appreciate you, Boner Jams. He gives everybody the most psychotic names, and I love it. So check out their podcast.
Maybe he's talking about my medallion. He thinks it's a Lynx. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's from The Witcher. You better recognize.
Yeah.
Trell Roberts, thank you for the chat. Says, what's up with Halo? We're going to get into it in just a second. Assassin from Renegade Realm Podcast says, had to make sure Red hasn't cussed. Don't want him to have to be responsible if Colt gets demonetized. Behave, Red. Behave, you 5-headed fry feeler.
I mean, that's a real thing in Texas, apparently. I don't know. It's an animal only born in Texas.
5-headed
And I do apologize, everyone, if I'm being way too chaotic for the XNC podcast. I'm sorry. I'll chill with the sound effects and stuff. I'm sorry.
Why, has somebody complained?
5-headed? No one complained. I just want to get ahead of it before.
Light-headed fry. Okay, it looks like food. All right, I'm no longer scared. Okay. Well, whatever it is, it can be eaten. Danny Passion Official, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, I'm turning 42 in 24 days. Now I'm proud to say I'm a gamer, but 10 to 15 years ago, it was hard to say it in public. Now I don't care what people say. And Danny Passion, thank you for that, because that's about the time when I was not comfortable with it. Really was, about 10 years ago. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, represent, brother.
Yeah. Hey, you're my brother. Fonz and I.
You're my dad, brother.
Yeah. Fonz and I have been doing that lately because of that Hulk Hogan meme where he's like, I'm your brother, father, brother. Okay.
Oh my God. He killed me when he said that in chat. Oh my God. It killed me. I'm your dad, brother.
Brother. KY Bob, who's been a channel member for 56 months, which is about how long someone's pregnant. It's a long time. He says, what?
A long time, yeah.
Colt and the Renegade mind blown moment. Sup, guys? Is Steam coming to future Xbox consoles and the handheld? Yeah, we might talk about that as well. Let's talk about Halo. Much of this is going to be off the top of my head because I dug into the information before the show went up, but there was rumors about Halo like I talked about. But what's going on is Rebs Gaming, a channel on YouTube that has about 2,000 subs, looked into LinkedIn and saw an announcement for a guy named Dan Gnady who worked with Creative Assembly. He is now being hired as the lead designer to do a Halo game in Unreal Engine 5. Like, this is about as legit as it can get right now. Insider Gaming has also reported about it. Apparently, whatever we've been hearing the past year or two about Halo coming back or Halo Infinite being held while they do something new and exciting would be a Halo game built in Unreal Engine 5, maybe for the beginning of next generation or maybe cap off this generation. I would probably think maybe at the beginning. I don't know what to say. We're only speculating based off of a announcement of somebody saying, hey, this is what I'm doing for work and I'm really proud of it. Red, what do you think about a Creative Assembly veteran working on Unreal Engine 5 for Halo Part 7?
So, I mean, Halo Infinite came out in 2021? Was it 21?
Yes.
December.
Should have been 22.
I think should have been 22. Or was it 26? That's a deep cut. But I don't know. Like, is it too soon? Are we already looking at like the abandonment of Halo Infinite? I haven't even finished the campaign for Infinite, but did Infinite have anything to do with the narrative, or was it supposed to be like the Halo game? You know, so this, I know that people want a new Halo game. The first thing that comes to my mind is like innovation. Like they really want to push the envelope whenever it comes to the next Halo game. I think about Doom 2016 versus Doom Eternal, how they had a lot of they had like a lot of changes, especially like with versatility.
Verticality.
Verticality. Thank you. Thank you. Where and they did the same like with Infinite. You know, they had like the zip line and stuff like that, or the grapple shot and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we get like an optional third person. No,
I would totally love it, and I think the Halo
that.
purists need to shove it, because I did that video. Remember that nobody watched?
I remember.
I
Yes.
showed that guy, some guy on PC. It's such a simple mod, because unlike what you and I talked about Avowed, I'll give a little backstory so you can talk about this, but Halo Infinite has all of the animations in full body. They just put the camera like right here, right
there.
Zoom. That's gonna get clipped. Brad War fights like, and Colton Red did this. So
Together.
when you pull, because you already know when you pick up the turret, you can run around like that until you run out of bullets. It's amazing looking. So this guy just pulled the camera back with the stock third person animations and ran around shooting with the battle rifle and everything. It looks incredible. I didn't get hands on. I should actually do that. I should get that mod. Dude, it's ready. Like, and my stance is, hey, let people turn it on or off in the campaign, and to heck with your lore or whatever you think Purist is. Like, you don't have to deactivate it if you want to. So anyway, go ahead.
And that's the thing. Like, and obviously the reason like Halo is like they want the animation to look great because multiplayer is a thing in the game. So they don't want people running around in Cyberpunk like. Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
or what is that Halo meme where the guy's like, where they're dancing?
Yeah, exactly. But seriously, I mean, this gets me excited because I feel like on one hand, I'm like, what were they thinking with Halo Infinite? Like, did they not want to just pursue it as a 10-year plan like they had to begin with? Or, hey, is this a code name? Is it not the next Halo? Are they porting it over to... That's you can't just port over a game to another engine. So I don't think that this is Halo Infinite like season 7 or whatever. But a new Halo game in Unreal Engine, I guess they would have to sort of say, in my mind, like I'm thinking, like if I'm a dev at 343 or whatever, and they're saying we need to get another Halo out and we need to give it to another team to have a fresh pair of eyes. Let's just get away from it for a little bit. You know how we always say, as a creative, when you're working on something for so long and it's just been your eyes on it, and you just have someone to say, can you just look at this for a minute? And they take one look at it and they say, how about this? And you go, I never thought of that. I never thought to make this little change because I've been so enveloped and wrapped up in this that I haven't been able to sort of find any I don't know what I'm trying to what the word is for, but I can't really get away from what I know. I think that it's good that if they're handing off Halo to another, is it another team or this is a creative assembly, right? So this is, what have they worked on?
I think 343 would, I'm just guessing. I would assume 343 is still going to be managing this, but it's a new lead designer who is not Pierre Hines, who is working with 343. So maybe Pierre and his team are going to continue supporting what is Halo Infinite, and then this new designer, we're just guessing, okay? Maybe this new designer is going to start building the next Halo game, because you don't know you haven't finished Halo Infinite, but they sort of kind of sidestepped a few story points from 5 and kind of continued on. Like, it still follows it a bit, and I'm not the best expert on that. But the storyline's kind of in a weird spot, and it's unfinished, so I don't know. Right,
I know a lot of talk about like the endless and stuff like that. Jonas in chat was saying creative tunnel vision is definitely a thing. Soup Bean says can't see the forest for the trees. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's exactly what I meant. So thank you, Get Chat. I was sort of losing my train of thought.
That's what you were trying to come up with for
I was trying to think of like a term for it. Yeah, but like you get so wrapped up in your own creative thing that, yeah, you can't see the forest for the trees and whatever.
Tried, though. I mean, they brought in Joe Staten. They brought in this Pierre Hines as a new lead a couple years ago. So I commend 343 for at least trying to bring fresh eyes in, like you expertly set up talking about the situation for Halo.
Yeah, I mean, what could we see different from Halo? Like, could it be like a big tonal shift? Because could they go like really dark, or could they, again, perspective change? Could they just completely switch up the perspective, give you an option for third person just to make it feel fresh and new?
Maybe
for the people who want something different
to give a third person mode. That wouldn't hurt.
And Unreal Engine 5
what
is
you were saying before that. What's the other change?
What change? Oh God, I've lost my listen. ADD.
Well, I'm talking over you, and I want to make sure I fix that. But you said you could change perspective, and there's something else you said before that they could make a shift on the tonal shift.
Tonal shift. Yeah. Like really sort of digging deep. From what I have played of Halo Infinite, and it's on my list of things to play. I really want to finish it.
I really love what
they were doing.
I want first dibs.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that, because I'm sure it's been years for you now at this point. That would be great. What I really loved was them digging deep into Master Chief and his past, and it was dark, and you like, oh, let's actually make him a character without taking his freaking helmet off. Paramount. Anyway, but so I would love that. I would love for them to go a little more heady with it, a little more cerebral with Halo, and it. I guess like Halo at this point is, I think Infinite was definitely a step in the right direction for a lot of people. Maybe it felt a little like too like Far Cry meets Halo or whatever. So you lose a lot of like the story beats because even Combat Evolved was point to point, and there were things happening along from point A to point B, progressing the mission.
It funnels in pretty well.
And with Halo, yeah, it funnels in pretty well. I think with Infinite, from what I had played, it seems a little just disjointed, and they sort of put in the outposts and stuff like that in between to keep you busy. So it didn't really feel like there was a sense of urgency the way that the other Halo games made it feel like. So I guess the biggest thing that I would take away from this is that they're switching to Unreal Engine 5, and they have some new fresh eyes on it. I would really like to see Halo go a little darker, or doesn't have to be darker. Just shift the tone a little bit. Make it. I think
it does. I think it does need to be darker.
Yeah.
And
just make it not so like America. You know what I mean? Like that's how Halo feels. I look at Halo, I'm just like,
okay, well, I'm not sure if you were going to do America, this is you. The American
I was going to.
I know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Well, you're forgetting the best example of taking it back and going to its roots and going dark, and the phenomenal reception of Gears E-Day tells Xbox exactly what to do with Master Chief. Now, I know Master Chief doesn't look. I know that Combat Evolved didn't look, maybe it looked amazing at the time. I mean, it looked pretty good for 2001, right? Oh, yeah. I was so scared. How old was I? I was like 28 or something. No, I wasn't. I was like 24 when the game came out, okay? That's how old I am. I was so scared in the second mission when you get lifted up into that Covenant ship. When you take the grav lift after that dark mission out in the woods, and then you go up inside the ship, and you're inside that Covenant ship, and it's quiet. And I was like legitimately scared being in those empty corridors, even though the grunts and the elites aren't super scary enemies. But that mood of Combat Evolved back then was so good. And I don't think we really get that anymore. And there's a couple great main enemies in Infinite that you'll get to meet when you play. But that feeling of, who are these enemies? What are they capable of? What are they going to do? What's in here has been gone for a long time. And I think when you see Marcus and Dom, and you're going to get like this re-story told. I don't know how to say it, but like just knowing you're going to go back to the gritty roots of what made Gears, that they have to be looking at what they've been planning for a year or two with Gears E-Day and say, we got to do this for Halo. And
Yeah.
I think that's the winning formula.
Even the trailer of Gears E-Day elevates the franchise even more for me because it makes you think like, oh my God, these guys got to where they are now from lots of blood, lots of sweat, and lots of tears. It wasn't just like this wasn't just the bro rock and roll shooter the whole time. Like, it's always been dark, but like that definitely, just from that trailer, it's like, man, they really worked hard to get to where they are as far as holding off the I almost said the Covenant, almost holding off. Can you imagine? Almost holding off the locusts and stuff like that. So if with Halo, even if something, I mean, can you imagine? Oh my! I just had a thought. A Halo.
Wait, pitch it to them right now. Email them.
So you have this. So chat, imagine this. So your trailer comes up and you hear the little and that's it. Just one little that's it. And then you hear a woman speaking. He's not ready. And then you're like, what the hell's going on? And then you hear and then the camera pans out of black and you see this little kid sitting there and you hear a guy go, what the hell you mean he ain't ready? And you go, wait, am I doing the Star Wars thing? I'm trying to do Halo thing. I'm sitting there going, Anyway, a Halo prequel.
Oh, Bob West.
Get up there and make a Halo. So anyway, a Halo prequel.
You're talking about a King of the Hill Halo crossover. I get you.
That's what I would love.
Yeah.
I would love to see how Master Chief lost his speech impediment and when he got his helmet knocked off for the first time. And then that's why he always keeps it on now, because when he takes it off, he's like, Covenant. But anyway.
Ripped half his face off so he doesn't want his face shown anymore. It pulled it.
Right, exactly.
A lot
he
of
looks
people in
like
chat
the
are like,
Rainbow
maybe
Six,
it's a spin-off, like a ODST thing, which ODST isn't.
Oh, right.
Isn't the favorite, but it's also the favorite. Isn't that weird?
I love ODST.
I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
It's so good. I would love to go back through that again.
Damn it, Bobby.
Bobby, see Smart 661. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. So anyway, sorry, chat, for the weird, cringy pitch. That was awful. But yeah,
can you imagine going into like an office like you did? Okay, here it is. Okay, here's what happens, and they're like, "Can you leave?"
Big conference room. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can
you turn the
lights back
on? Bagels for the people who had the good pitches. Put it down.
Right, exactly. Can I take the cream cheese? Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, a spinoff is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. That's exactly what I would love to see. Similar to E-Day, taking place somewhere else. Yeah.
I've been in a party chat with Phil. I've been in a couple of party chats with Phil Spencer, right? And you just play the game and just act normal. Otherwise, it's just really weird. And one guy is like, "Hey, Phil, you should totally do like a Halo pinball spinoff. Here's what you do." And he starts explaining everything, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, shut up." Phil's like, "Yeah."
And Phil is just like in his pajamas playing games. He's just like,
"I should go."
That sounds. That's great.
Pinball,
That's
huh? Pinball.
Yeah.
Next thing you want a Dave and Buster's 4-player shoot 'em up, huh? That what you want next?
Yeah. Oh man, they did that, by the way.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I played it. I went to Arkansas and I played it, and I was like, I don't like how I feel right now. But it was.
I heard it's cool.
It is cool. Like you're kind of like going through the first Halo game, leaving the oh guys, the fans are gonna kill me. What's the forward unto the sunrise? What's the ship called that you're exiting?
Forward unto sunrise. It's called Tequila Sunrise. Is the name of the forward unto dawn.
That's what it is. Tequila Sunrise. Yeah.
KY Bob. KY Bob says, "Shout out to KY Bob. Such a good dude." He says Steve Downs needs to come back as the voice of Master Chief. I thought he was in Infinite. Is he not the voice of Master Chief in Infinite?
I think he is. I think he's done. I think.
He said he's
what people are saying. Yeah, so he's done.
Get Optimus Prime to
Master
do it.
Chief. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
I'm Optimus Prime.
Cortana.
Forward unto Dawn and Pillars.
Cortana. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm
Cortana,
terrible.
roll
I'm
out.
sorry.
Wrong franchise. Forward unto Dawn and Pillar of Autumn. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Pillar of Autumn. Yes, that was it. Yes, Pillar of Autumn. But yeah, you're 4 players, like literally with machine guns at Dave and Buster's, where it smells real bad. But hey, it was a good time.
What were we even talking about? Oh, we're talking about what this game could be.
Halo.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you and I are good with a spin-off. Well, how about here? I've got this stupid poll sitting up here where 73% said they are not embarrassed to say they're a hardcore gamer. Let's ask, would you want
empowerment?
What do you want for Halo? We've got like a 12, 15 second delay, so it's already up by the time I'm writing it. What do you want for Halo? Halo 7, I'll call it, or ODST style spin off, and vote away. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but all I know is they're committed in and they're doing something. And I would just assume that Halo Infinite's multiplayer suite and everything that goes along with it is still being supported and updated. And they've got another team spooling up to make the next Halo game. And you get one per generation, I guess.
I think one thing that it's a real benefit to developers, especially whenever they're handing off an IP to give them time to work on the next big numbered iteration of the franchise. So you have a spinoff of Gears of War E-Day while they're working on Gear 6. So they're working on that to give a breast of fresh eggs, as you would say, while the big team is working on the big one. So
yeah,
same thing with Halo. I mean that was ODST released. No, what was it? ODST and then Reach. I can't remember, but you know what I mean.
Yes. ODST was
Halos,
2011, and Reach was it 20? Oh my gosh, 2010 was ODST, and then 2011 I think was Halo Combat Evolved 10th Anniversary Edition. No, that would be 2011. Yeah, wow. And then Reach was 2012 or 2013. That's a long time ago.
It's crazy, man.
And
it's
Happy
crazy.
Bomb in the chat said that you called me old when you said it was a long time ago for me when I played Halo Infinite.
I didn't say that. It was a long time ago when I played Halo Infinite. So take that, Happy Bomb. Yeah, you know what I mean. A spinoff would give them enough. It's sort of like a refresher, like a palate cleanser. It's the second time I've said that this show. To sort of give us a little spin-off, to give us a little space from Halo Infinite, and that way whenever we come back to it, we've sort of missed it a little bit because we've had a different taste of cheese. We've been eating American cheese for so long, and we just need a little mozzarella up in here. You know what I'm saying, Colt?
Need a little Parmesan. Let me get
Parmesan.
Speaking of cheese, let me grab some super cheese-ats.
Super cheeses.
Super Cheez-Its. Kevin Klukes, who is big into Halo and came to the show because he wanted to hear any Halo news that he could muster. And he says 343 isn't handing Halo off. And I would agree. I would think they probably aren't. They're just going to, I think you and I are kind of saying they're going to let that team spool it up. It's not Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly might be helping, but they're going to be managing that. And then I think once they get to a certain point, more people come over and start working on that together, because that's kind of how studios do things. Trail Roberts, I think I might have read this. Maybe Halo is a spinoff, maybe ODST. Thank you, Trail. Jonas, the dad, with the $2, different Jonas, says, who hits harder, Marcus in Halo or Chief in Gears? What? Who hits harder?
My brain was like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Who hits? Well, I'll just flip this in the right way. I think he's just messing around. But who hits harder, Marcus or Master Chief?
Say Master Chief, but
I'd say about the same.
I want to know. I want
Marcus is
to
bigger.
I want to I was going to say I want to see the humans go through a thing like we need to get jacked because these dudes are jacked, and that's why everyone's so jacked. Because like in the E-Day trailer, it didn't look like everyone was super built, and I think that maybe that becomes like part of their regimen. Like we have to be jacked to fight these dudes because look what happened to me in that trailer, guys.
Weightlifting mini game when you're like,
Right, I'm like
San Andreas.
San Andreas, exactly.
He's like,
and you're just, "Ugh."
man, I'm about to get buff up in here, or whatever CJ says.
CJ, yeah, exactly, yeah. And then you
I
got
remember
Coltrane.
when I played that, you can use the cheat codes on the original Xbox, and I just put like buff all the way. What was it? Strength all the way up, and he walks out of the gym and he's like, "I need to go to Burger Shot."
Right, exactly. He just still sounds the same, like, yo, man. And I'm just like, you look like the guy from 8 Mile, Green Mile, Blue Mile, Green Mile. The guy, he was the big dude. Yeah. He was a very, very large man. God rest his soul. He passed away. MC says, Dom, we need to lift. He did pass away. He passed away a long time ago. That was one of those Mandela effects.
John Coffey from the Green Mile.
From Green Mile, yeah, he passed away, man. It was so crazy. I remember it was like 6-7 years ago, and I was like, "Where's he been? He hasn't been anything in a while." That's it. Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah, man. God,
he died in 2012.
Isn't that crazy, man?
Dude, I didn't even know.
It's crazy. God, it's one of those Mandela effects people talk about. Yeah. Man.
My wife went and saw that when it was new in the theater because I was such a huge Shawshank fan, and I did not like the movie. But several years later, when I rented it or bought it on whatever, I really appreciated it. But that movie's tough to watch. Green Mile. It's got some really tough things in it. Really, really tough. Shawshank's still my favorite movie ever. Well, shout out to him, man. He's amazing. Yeah, no, Shawshank's probably my favorite movie ever. For real.
Wow, yeah. I didn't know that. That's awesome. What a great taste, man. Yeah, that movie's hard to watch. Yeah, that was Clancy Brown as the terrible security guard.
SpongeBob.
He's out of Krabby Patties out of here. And so it's crazy, man.
He plays such a good character, and Gil Bellows plays the hotshot kid, and Andy Dufresne,
incredible voice actor in Star Wars. He is so many characters in Star Wars. He plays Savage. Yeah, he plays Savage Opress in Star Wars. That guy is just incredible voice. Yeah, Clancy Brown. Shout out to him. But yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah,
it's Clark Duncan. Yeah, Duncan Clark. Michael Duncan Hines. Duncan Hines was a famous cake brand when I was a kid. Shout out to him, man. Such great movies. Chris R, thank you for the super chat, says, wasn't there a rumor of Halo 1's proper remake? That could be how you get more interest, but I hope Steve Downs to return. No story reboot, please. Absolutely, Chris. I do not want a story reboot. I don't even like that they rebooted Halo Infinite by kind of rebooting the way the game feels. They wanted to recapture that Combat Evolved magic, and I'm like, no. You need to bring Halo into the future. He says, was there a rumor of a Halo 1 proper remake? Yeah, there was, and I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do that either. It's already the 10th anniversary edition, which makes the game look like it's supposed to for modern. No, just please don't. Just push forward, please, 343. I hope this creative assembly leader that's, I think, working for 343, I hope that he's like just supposed to make Halo feel like it should in the 2020s. Not Halo Infinite's great. Like when we play the campaign, you're going to see it's just so fun. It just feels great. You need a way more variety. You'll see it's a great game, but and it's a great way to stay in shape. So
yeah.
Christopher Stewart says, yeah, I know this. He says Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile were both written by Stephen King. Yeah, absolutely they were. I know that. And I actually read the Shawshank Redemption short. It takes like a day to read it. It's like 40 pages or something, but they really knocked it out with the movie. It's the one time where the book wasn't as good as the movie because Frank Darabont just added so much to Shawshank. I could talk about it on a different channel. It's really cool.
We have a movie podcast.
Yeah. Crap, there's so much more I want to talk about. How are we doing? Okay, we got this will just take a minute. Apparently, it's been revealed that Crazy Taxi from Sega is making its reemergence as there's so many remakes on today's topics list. Apparently it's an MMO and people are mad. Like apparently you can just go into the city and everybody's driving around or something, or you could just join other people online and run into each other. This isn't what people wanted, but I don't know. Are you a Crazy Taxi fan?
I guess the announcement took people for a ride, huh?
All right, you're done. All right, let me kick them.
All right,
how do I
that's
find
it.
the?
All right, see you guys. That was a good show. See you.
I suppose they'll be taxiing that off the runway sometime soon. Another assorted of jokes that use the word. I guess they'll
Taxi.
have to ring up his. Wait, what do you call it when you? I guess they weren't playing fair game with that taxi fare and other assorted jokes of the era.
They were crazy to think that this was a fair idea, and I don't know. This is farting. Sorry, let me just farting. This is farting.
Get demonetized for saying a bad word. We just try to keep it. We try to keep it clean enough on the show that, like, if somebody is, making dinner and they've got their phone on the counter and they're watching the show and their kid walks in, someone's not like Morgan. I've been on some podcasts where I'm sitting there going, like, hey, what have you been playing this week? Oh man, a Forgan, Boogan. I should be careful. I actually say something that sounds worse than a cuss word. Morgan. Shout out to, is Jonas still in the chat? He probably isn't, but
he is. I know him. I can feel him.
Oh, here, I can look. Yeah, he is.
There he is.
Jonas goes, can we get this moving along? The meter's running. Another great Crazy Taxi joke.
Dude,
so I gotta
so funny.
I gotta
man.
defraud.
He's gonna
Fonz and I, because when we were playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we were freaking loving it. And Fonz and I wouldn't leave Norway because it's got this decent sized map, but apparently the game just blooms open when you get out of there. And Fonz and I spent like 30 hours in Norway, and we're on party chat, like we're freaking loving this game. And I go, "Where are you?" He goes, "I'm still in Morgan, and that's what we called Norway. And I can say that because shout out to Jonas, I'm 1/16 Norwegian, so that's what we called it. Morgan. Because that game's so awesome. And even just that little bit of Norway is fantastic. But shout out to Jonas in the chat. We appreciate you. Where was I?
Sorry, I got a shout out. The game adaptation newscast says Forgan Mareeman.
Where? I got to see it. Forgan was in the
Forgan Mareeman.
Oh, Morgan Forgan Meeman. And it came to Shawshank Prison, dot two or whatever.
Oh my God. Oh, so good.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi. I don't know. The funny thing, only thing like exciting or worthwhile I can tell you about Crazy Taxi is I think it's the only time I've ever played a Dreamcast, and it was at a Best Buy in Omaha, Nebraska, or Lincoln, Nebraska. I saw it. I picked up the controller and I drove around really fast and tried to pick up somebody and dropped them off. And I'm like, okay. And then I walked off. But I think that's the only time I've played a Dreamcast was playing Crazy Taxi.
I was being babysat by a girl named Danielle, who I later found out was my cousin. I was at least 10 years old.
Hold on.
And
I
played.
How did you start this story? Dad? Why is my dad in there?
My dad just dropped me off to, we don't know who you are, kid. I'm like, Mom? Anyway, yeah, that was,
why is my family in
here
there?
I am. Where's my family? Yeah, exactly. Why are there fire tracks in the driveway? Anyway,
I always use that Tommy Boy line when something's awkward.
Oh, yes.
Because he's trying to like stop the sale of his dad's company, and he looks in there and he's like, why is my family in there? Just, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I thought you were gonna say, never mind, I won't say it on this show. Derek,
my girlfriend's in there. A lot of people's girlfriends are in there, buddy. That was from Wayne's World. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, No, I thought you were gonna do the.
So you and your cousin were what now?
So
Do-
what
do
we were
tell.
doing.
And remember,
So
there's people watching.
it was so I'll just cut out that entire section and say that I was there playing crazy taxi. Crazy Taxi? Why does it sound weird when I say it out loud? Anyway, yeah. And
Daisy
then the
Craxy.
first time that I ever Daisy Craxy, exactly. Oh, can you imagine Daisy Craxy? It's got to be a character in the game. Someone don't take that. Don't take that. I'm gonna name my character that, or my taxi that. I don't know. Anyway, also played Metal Gear Solid for the first time, and it scared the shunk out of me because whenever you got spotted, it did the dun, it did the
Yes.
yeah,
such a
it
great
did that,
game.
and it scared me so bad. So yeah, the PS1, and then the Dreamcast, and because she was like, "Go on upstairs, I need to smoke cigarettes or whatever." I don't know. So
That's how everybody's
what I did.
aunt sounded back in the 80s and 90s. I went in and
Right.
folded your laundry and it's over on the couch. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then I hear yelling downstairs, and I hear,
You were right. I was pregnant.
yeah, it's awful. That's awful.
You
Sorry.
are the father.
Sorry. You are
Where's
the father, right?
Where's
Exactly.
my family in there? This is off the rails right now.
Anyway, well, I think Tazy Craxy.
Yeah, I've never really
played
played the game, and I've never really played. Everyone talks about how amazing the Sega Dreamcast is. I've never really got to experience it in its short couple years that it was around. There's an interesting lump of news that we could cover quickly. Xbox is allowing anybody with an Amazon Fire Stick to play xCloud. People are thinking, oh, this is 200 million customers coming in. I don't know how big that will be. I don't even know if anybody cares to talk about it. But the other part of that is that the Nvidia GeForce streaming experience, which gives you I think it's a 4080 Super or a 4080 PC, which is a killer PC. It lets you play games at full quality, path tracing, ray tracing through your Xbox. Like, this is a thing where you can do xCloud, or you could actually just load up the experience of GeForce, which, according to Fonz, if you've got your TV connected via cable or you got an amazing Wi-Fi, he's like, I can't even tell the difference. It feels like I'm playing on a PC. It doesn't feel like I'm connected to the internet. And some people's internet, if it's decent, you're going to get access to a bunch of games the way they were really meant to be played. And this isn't confirmed or locked down, but I don't know who will want to use this. It's $20 a month, I think. I don't know. Would you mess around with this?
Well, I mean, no, because I have everything as far as like testing things out. I have a PC, and
Yeah.
shout
you
out to
have a really
Jonas
good PC
in
now.
chat for helping me out with that. My question is, like, would you stumble upon this organically? Because that is how you would get people, right? Like, you're messing around on you said Amazon Firestick.
Yeah, there's Fire. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
So, and I heard like that one of the drawbacks of like the Keystone, which was Microsoft's original idea of digital streaming, like a Roku device, was that, well, people can't play games without a controller. So if you stumble upon a video game on Amazon, like, oh, here's our gaming section, and people go, what's that? Are they going to run out and buy a $60 controller? And I think that's sort of like the issue with trying to get the mainstream audience in.
Somebody who's not a gamer, like, you're right. If somebody
Yeah.
has a DualSense or an Xbox controller, they're more likely gonna go, oh great, I'll just play my games on my console. Like, that's a good shout. Like, is somebody gonna go, I can play games on this thing? I'm gonna go buy a $60 controller.
I'm gonna go right
Walmart
now.
immediately.
Yeah, and it's like, but that's the thing. Like, the mind share of gaming in general, it isn't within PlayStation, Nintendo. People right now are very vocal about how, like, the day one on Game Pass isn't necessarily helping, because Game Pass doesn't really make sense to people who don't understand what Xbox is as a brand as a whole, who are just not in the ecosystem at all. So whenever you're on Amazon and then you see a gaming section, you're thinking, I need to go get a PlayStation controller, and it's like, no. This is Xbox. Like, this is Microsoft. Like, And they're like, oh, what does that mean? What's an Xbox control? And it's like, it's so convoluted. And we've talked about how Microsoft marketing is sort of, it could be better.
See anything? Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're like,
that's like
they're
my
like,
first
oh,
thought,
our biggest, one of the biggest games this half of the year is Hellblade 2. We'll market it the week before it comes out. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Everyone will love that. Love it. Just love it.
KY Bob says, let me shoehorn this in. Shout out to KY Bob. He says, GeForce Now, which I'm sorry why I called it GeForce Experience. That's the app I used to record. GeForce Now, which is a streaming device, which gives you access to a killer PC playing games. If you have to buy them. I'll get into that in just a second. He said GeForce Now would help fix xCloud by forcing Microsoft to improve the stability across the board. Right now, xCloud or Microsoft's or Xbox's gaming cloud service is not the best one. Some things PlayStation is doing better in quality. You can do 4K on PlayStation cloud gaming, but they all kind of do their own thing in a certain way. But for GeForce Now, you pay $20 a month, but you also have to own the games. So if it's like stream Cyberpunk at its highest quality, you're like, oh, cool. And you go in there like, oh, I have to buy it. And I think it's like $40 to $50 on sale right now. So you're like, okay, I got to pay $20 and then I'm going to buy the game. That's a certain type of customer that isn't very common, I think, is kind of what you're getting at. Like that kind of customer is not like,
right,
oh, gaming, I'm going to try this. And I know that Xbox is trying to get that person.
You're right.
I've always heard about this gaming stuff. I want to try it. I laughed at the
and it's like
Assassin's Creed commercial.
Yeah, I mean, and I think like from what I've read, it seems like their idea of we're going to ship you a Roku device, let's say, and it's going to come with a controller. And the people that are buying it are like, well, this is why do I need a controller to begin with? If this is like the idea of the Xbox One being a device, the reason they named it the Xbox One is because it was an all-in-one entertainment, system. And of course, it's a gaming console, so you don't have to question why do I have a controller? That's why you bought it to begin with. But whenever you're selling someone on cloud gaming, and then you add on Amazon, you're just browsing through Amazon, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can play a game, but I can't play it with my remote. I don't know.
You're
just like, come on!
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, exactly.
What if Xbox made a partnership where on the Amazon app, for $80 or $90, you could buy a wireless controller with the Firestick? I mean, it's kind of tough because the controller is $60. Like it's kind of hard to discount that unless it's on sale. Like that's the going price for a wireless Bluetooth controller. Like someone said in the chat, I love to give shouts when they say it. Noise Mofo said you can use any Bluetooth controller, but Xbox would be best suited to sell you their controller, the Fire Stick. Say Amazon now has xCloud or whatever they're going to call it, and then you sell this bundle where you get the stick. And don't give them the stick with the controller, and you sell them together, and you just advertise it that way. Hey, you plug this thing into the side of your TV, you sync the controller, and you can play 400 games like right now. It's a cool idea, but you and I are thinking that customer we don't think they exist.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that's how. I don't know, like if I were to go over to my neighbor's house and say, hey, Judy, and say, you just got the Amazon Fire Stick?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Close the door, you're letting the flies out.
Literally sounds like that. And she has 2 birds and she smokes inside. I'm like, you're going to kill them. You're
going to kill us. She's like, close the screen door. You're letting all the flies out.
Get the dogs.
Damn it.
You're letting all the flies. Yeah. Oh, Judy. She can hear me right now.
Get in here.
Get in here, Bessie.
No, it's my daughter.
Well, she needs a shave. She needs a trim. Because I couldn't tell.
She was on all fours anyway.
Coming into the house. Right, that's what I meant. Just walking in the house.
My dad used to say, if I had a dog as ugly as you, I'd shave his butt and teach it to walk backwards. He used to say that to me when I was growing up.
Oh my God. He loves you. That's so nice compared to what my dad used to say, which was nothing.
Gets real dark on ecstasy. I wish my dad talked to me.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Shout out to my dad,
I
who's
miss my
been a
dad.
good dad, but he's like, you smell like the north end of a southbound cow. And I'm like, drawing a compass and a cow. And
You're
I'm
like, so
hey, wait a minute.
let's see, if you turn to the left, so maybe
wait a minute, it's
maybe
got to
he
be
loves
your
me.
bowl. It's another Tommy Boy reference.
That's right. Milk in a bowl.
I get a
What was
look at
that
a
story
T-bone
again?
steak by sticking my head up a butcher's ass, but I'd have to. Classic. What were we saying? Like you? Oh, you were
man.
gonna go talk to Judy next door. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I ruined everything.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if I go over to Judy's house and I'm like, "Hey, let go of the bird. They didn't hurt you yet," and she's like, "What do you mean?" What is that? It looked like it looked like a little doll. Oh no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
What? You know those?
Oh my god.
You know those?
Happy birthday.
Is that offensive? There's a red hat with the little tassel. That's like a religious
That's what I
thing.
was saying.
Though. I can't do that.
That's what I was saying.
But I'm one of those.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, then there you go. Then you're fine. You're fine. Listen, religions change every single day. It's
when
fine.
someone goes,
This is
hey,
brand
what
new.
are those one things? Yeah, I'm that religion.
I'm that now. Whatever that is. Do you know what it's called? No, but I'll figure it out in a minute.
I
whenever I'm done
am
eating.
that right now.
I'm that. Right, exactly. What is that? It means
Actually, we live in a world where people would rather make fun of someone's beliefs, and it's totally okay. I mean, that's the world we live in, unfortunately. Right. But let people be whatever they want. Please let the character be whatever the developers want the character to be. And hey, this might bother people, but if Playground wants that character, we don't even know her name yet. Like if she's gonna have this whole story, and it's actually gonna be a story, like you know how you follow Arthur Morgan through, and you become attached to that character, and it tells a story. Like if you follow the story as that girl you play in as Fable, and we like make a connection. If that's what they think makes the game better than just being a no-name character, you want the boy or the girl, and then you just go, and then there's no attachment. I would rather trust Playground to make a really cool decision, no matter what the character looks like. And I know I put this thing on my head, but like, come on, sometimes the story can be so much better if you just kind of let things, I don't know, whatever.
Just let him wear the multicolor hat. Come on.
It looks like an ice cream.
Come on, guys.
It's actually a thing to hold like a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Is that what that is? They just give that to you?
Yeah, like. Well,
can you imagine them coming out the window holding that? They're like, and watch this, and then it just slips out of the sleeve and it falls.
You know this so well because that's what okay, for those of you who aren't fat like me, when you go to Dairy Queen, if you order a Blizzard, they have to show it to you upside down that it won't fall out, or it's free. So they you pull up the drive-thru and they're like, they do the thing, like I'm doing the thing, right?
There you go. Have a good day.
One of the girls put the cup in, put 2 cups in, and she made the Blizzard, and she goes, "Here's your Blizzard upside down," and the cup goes, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, that's so good.
Sandy goes, where are we at again? I have no idea.
I have no idea. No idea.
You were talking.
Yeah,
you were talking to Judy, and I went, okay.
Yeah, basically, Judy is not. Yeah, if you were to go to sell an Amazon Fire Stick and say, hey, and gaming comes with this, the first thought would be, oh, cool. How does that work? And it's like, well, if you were a gamer, you would know that you would need a controller. You would need some sort of device to make it work. So that's why I come back to the remote. You're playing with your remote?
There's like, more than that, though. It's like, oh, yeah, you have Amazon, right? You're an Amazon customer? Yeah. You have Amazon Prime? Yeah. Okay. All you got to do is buy an Amazon Fire Stick. Okay. You with me? Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
You got to put that in your TV. Then you got to go to the Xbox app and you got to subscribe to Game Pass.
What's that?
But you got to get the ultimate tier because it gives you access to the games that you're going to play through Amazon Prime on your Fire Stick to your TV on what?
Do I have
on
to have
a
ultimate
controller? There's so many degrees of separation where Judy be like,
right.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like even someone who likes games.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this last thing that if someone wanted to play a game, it's so much easier to buy a $300 or $400 console than it is to sell them on the idea of buying a $40 Amazon Fire Stick and a $60 controller. I know it's cheaper, but the degree of separation there for the everyday average person who wants to get into gaming that Microsoft's trying to get, I think you and I are in agreement. It's like this degree of separation is kind of weird. Kind of not.
Yeah,
really
it's just tough. It's just tough to describe to the average person who enjoys TV shows and movies and stuff like that at their leisure, like just turning on the thing and pressing a button and it's there, and then also trying to sell them like a device that they've never even touched or seen or smelled or tasted, and you got to spend $60 on it and go, hey.
I don't even know how an Amazon Fire Stick works. I've never owned one. I'm sure you just plug it in and it'll do everything for you. Sure, it's kind of like a Roku,
stick.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know the Amazon Fire Stick. I don't know much about it. I know that it's really popular for stealing content, being able to watch streaming content for free. Like you probably put it in your computer and give it some file in it. And yeah, I mean,
good. Well, that's good. Well,
Happy
I'll let
Bomb
Judy
knows.
know that
I
she
think
can.
Happy Bomb must know what this thing is. They said it's not a cup. It's not for blizzards. It's a cup for cozy. Oh, for like ice cups. So.
Oh, there you go.
Now it looks
works
like
perfectly.
looks like a diaper.
Yes.
Here's your blizzard, and just in case it has a little accident, we're just gonna twist this little thing.
Just in case your hands get cold, you can use the cozy. How does it sound when I do this? Does that sound amazing?
That sounds really good. It sounds like it would sound like well, I don't really have anything to put over it.
Is that your underwear?
No, it's not.
You
It's
undo
not.
the button.
I'm like,
Let me see if I can find
it's
anything.
fine.
You grab a pair of boxers.
I'm like, like that's gonna hurt in the morning.
Have you seen Employee of the Month with Dane Cook?
Oh,
When they work at
God, I think
Costco?
I have. That was
Dax-
a long time ago.
Dax Shepard and Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite they break into Dane Cook's house to turn off his alarm so he'll be late for work, and they're wearing pantyhose on their head. And
Right, so their
and he
face
goes,
is like,
yeah, so they've got pantyhose with the legs hanging out like this, like pigtails. And Dax
Yeah.
goes, "Did you fart?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "Where did you get these pantyhose?" He goes, "From my mom's jib bag." He goes, "Jorge."
oh God. That's why you don't do drugs, kid. Not until you're.
Joe Donnie
no.
goes, "I'll cry for you, boss." That's an 81
that a
Honda.
quote?
How dare you? That movie's so incredible. We talked about movies too much tonight. But
I love that.
as you put
Zomboy
your
and Sandy
underwear on your
says,
mic, let me try putting my underwear on the mic.
and I'm like, wait, this is from yesterday, not today. This is the wrong underwear. I was born in the darkness. He says,
King Styles goes, "I have the same pair."
yeah, maybe that was yours.
King
never
Styles
know.
was over last night. Are we going to play Witcher or what? First, put this on
Just
my mic.
drink this drink real quick and we'll play. What's in it? Nothing.
Now you've been charged with 2 felonies on one show.
That's right. Judaism, sorry, my neighbor Judy. I just tried to make a play on Judy's name, and I realized
Oh, and it's a religion or it's a
Judaism. Jesus. Anyway, I should go. God, I'm sorry. Go.
YouTube's like, we have 8 strikes. You've offended even your own lineage on this show. Tony goes, "Is this a private FaceTime?" I was actually worried that if we did the show together, that nothing would ever get accomplished, and I'm glad that it did.
We did things, yeah. Oh man,
Alex from the $5 super chat says, "If you had to pick, which is better, Eminem and Green Mile, or Michael Clark Duncan in 8 Mile?"
Oh, Michael.
Stupid. Yeah, you just mix them up.
That's great. I love that. Oh man. Oh my god. I'm crying. I'm like,
yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
Oh man.
We really
Sorry,
appreciate
Jenny.
you all. Yeah, it's really off the rails, Jason. We apologize, but you know, Red, when you get into June and a little bit in July, like this is the time when most developers aren't releasing any new games. Tomorrow we have First Descendant, which is a 3-player, free-to-play, third-person action looter shooter. It's got cool graphics. I would assume it might not do very well. I'm going to try it tomorrow. Have you heard about it?
Yeah,
First
I saw
Descendant.
I saw it on Twitter. It was all over the place on Twitter, and I was like, "Where's the second Descendant or the last or whatever?" I didn't know if this was like a shadow
a
drop
prequel?
thing or
I actually
yeah, I
cut
was like,
it
is
out
this
of
like
my. I cut it out of my video. I did that video about all the games that are coming out from now, starting with Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, all the way through Indiana Jones through the end of the year, and I cut out 2 games, and one of them I had the whole thing written and recorded for First Descendant because I had this feeling that the game was not going to be as impressive, or maybe it might bomb, and I don't want people to feel like I was hyping it up because I think it looks cool,
Right.
but I have this feeling it might not do very well and it'll kind of die. Like there's a couple games like what's that game where you shoot all the dinosaurs came out this year? I can see the name. You know it.
Second Extinction?
No. Exoprimal.
Exoprimal. Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
cool, and
Yeah.
it was kind of fun. I played it with Gaz on a few rounds, but then after a few rounds, you're like, I'm kind of done. And a lot of games get that treatment. So, yeah. Oh,
yeah. I'm. Yeah.
Sorry. Ninzolo says, Cole, I'm watching live from New York City. Give me a shout out. Scotland has invaded the USA. Like, shout out to you in New York, and shout out to everybody who's watching the show from wherever and around, and even the UK or even Australia at this time in the morning. But we appreciate you. Yeah. What were you going to say about these games?
Oh, I don't know. Well, no, as far as like live service games, if this is I want to see more of these like smaller co-op games. We don't have a lot of good co-op games anymore. Like co-op games and the co-op experience has changed so much. And maybe I'm just speaking as someone who's just getting older and your schedule changes and you can't like ask all your friends to wait to play with you. Like,
Yep.
well, let's all play this at the same time and get that experience. I'll never forget that as long as I live, playing Halo with the same group, and no one's progressed without you, and you're all having this great experience. And we just need more co-op games. So I would really love to see more co-op focused games. There's that one that's coming out, or maybe it's already out. It's like chained together. You're chained together. Maybe that's what it's called, chained together. I don't know, but it's a co-op game where you're all literally chained together, and you have to sort of maneuver, MacGyver your way through platforming and stuff like that. But of course, if one person falls, you're chained together, so the teamwork is there. And
Is it like
that
a
kind of
goofy
stuff I just
looking
love.
game like Humans Fall Flat, or is it what? I don't know.
No,
I've
it
never
actually
seen
looks really like dark, like you're in hell or something. Actually, looks really, really dark. Yeah. Chat, help me out. What is it called? What is it called? Holly was talking about it, and she's like, "We need to play this," and I'm like, "I need an adult." Yeah, I don't.
I've never heard
know
of
what
it.
it's called.
But Max 380 goes, "You're
Yeah.
right, Colt. We don't want another Redfall fiasco." Yeah, and that's why I said a lot about Avowed. Like, I was excited to play Redfall, and I got to play it, and I really liked the preview. And I feel like
Human
Avowed
centipede.
could be kind of the same, just by me being cautious from being burned on a couple things. But I'm I'm smart enough to know that every studio can put out amazing things, and I put out one thing that people are like, like Song of the Deep is a little quirky game by Insomniac, who made Sunset Overdrive and the Spider-Man games, and those games are incredible. But Song of the Deep is like, people are like, it's okay. You know, every once in a while, Chained Together says that Blue Number. She's here. She was lurking, bro.
There she is. That's what. So it was literally called Chained Together. Yeah. She was like, we need to play this. It looks so fun. Chains. I got 2 chains, one for my. Anyway.
Chained Together. Yeah, you're right. Like, I think First Descendant looks cool. It has a little bit of controversy because there's 2 guy characters and a female character, and Insider Gaming reported that the female character outfit is just as what would be the word? Saucy as the Stellar Blade outfits as they wrote it. And you know, it's like maybe they're like, hey, maybe we can get some free publicity as well. But I just feel like I'll try that tomorrow and I'll like it, but no one will be around to play. Or, you know, like my other friends are going to be on Apex, and like you and I aren't going to hook up on something in time to play it. And then the games just die. Like, they really have to be so good that everyone's like, oh my gosh, everyone's on Twitter saying, or on Discord or whatever saying, First Descendant's so cool, everyone has to play it. And then it wins and it survives. But games die so quickly these days. So
yeah, I mean, look at like Remnant 2, one of the touted as one of the best co-op experience ever, and you don't hear about it anymore. It's done. Or like Helldivers. Helldivers is dying. Helldivers is dying. It's like, I think the majority of people had their fun with it, and new people are constantly coming in.
90% of the people have left. I mean, the game has been killing it for 3 months. Like, it's not going to last forever.
It's every game has this fluctuation, especially single player games. That's why I hate when people are like, look at Starfield's numbers. Starfield's numbers have dropped off.
Look at it. Look at it.
Look at my kids. Look at my kids. Yeah, exactly.
Look at the Steam results. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, they've had their time with it, man. Like, let the wave come back, and you know, let people let new players come in, and then tell me about the numbers later on.
Unless the game has like a really addictive mechanic. Like, even I've run into several instances, like probably 3 different modes, or 3 different, I don't know what the word is, where I played Starfield like crazy, and then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting tired, and I drop it. And then I come back a month later and I'm like, play the crap out of it. And I'm like, okay, I've had enough Starfield. Like, you and I've done that.
Yeah.
And I reached that again the other day. I was like, I feel like I'm just kind of spinning my wheels here, and I need to take a break.
Yeah.
And that's just normal, I guess. But
right.
I don't know. So I don't know why I brought up First Descendant, but that's like one of those games that's coming out. Would somebody say something about it? But I don't know. Yeah. In the chat, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of to make fun of tonight. I think we offended everybody, and it was great.
It was great. Yeah. Sorry to everyone for my absolute chaotic, childish demeanor and everything. And you can find me at my
wear this on your head, and then we're even.
That's what I'll do. That's all that I need to do is just find a koozie and just wear it on my head the entire time.
Cozy. Cozy.
I call them koozies.
Koozie is something different that you can do once you become of age.
Oh, well, Jonas, speaking of age, Jonas says he did a quote. He says, it's dying after only 5 months. No, it kept people engaged for almost half a year, and now people are jumping back into Elden Ring. Right.
Was it 5 months that Helldivers was absolutely killing it?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that game's been out that long, because it had a great, and 5 months is that's awesome, man. I mean, that's so good for a game to really hold people down like that.
I'm gonna weave in this that I forgot what the name of the studio that did Helldivers. I'm sure they're so satisfied and happy with the success, even with 90%. When they heard that 90% of the people were leaving, they're probably like, that checks out. We're super happy. I would assume they're really happy with Helldivers. And I would also assume that Shift Up from Stellar Blade, like, they're really happy with the numbers. They're on track to turn a great profit on the game. And I think there was some nonsense going on where, you know, I made like a sort of a tongue-in-cheek dig because because the PlayStation guys act like they were all going to buy the game, and it reached 1.6% of their install base. That's normal. I was just kind of having some fun with it. And I don't know, we need games that are good to do well. Like, a great game needs to do well. And yeah. And that's really
It's a great way to stay in shape.
And I will make jokes here and there, but in the end, Stellar Blade's not my type of game, so I don't have like a big investment. But there are certain games that I really like. I'm like just a sucker for some like goofy, openish world games. I don't know. I like stuff that doesn't take too serious, but then I like stuff that's cool and creepy. Like I want Halo and Gears to be I want to feel afraid when I get in there. Like, right? Like we want that. So,
Yeah.
Arrowhead. Thank you, Jonas. Arrowhead. Yeah. And then Power World had a 700% boost from their new Power World was great. I stopped playing it, but gosh dang, that game was cool. So yeah, salute to Steve Fax. Donna Kizada was nice enough to put your YouTube channel in there. It only takes a second to launch that, open it up in a new tab. And if you like Red's takes, and this is what his videos are, him being fun, him being excited about stuff, and then showing great gameplay in between his ugly face. And it's a great way to watch a channel.
Yes.
So go sub. If you like that at all, or even remotely, go sub to that because, I don't know how you guys will take this, but I think Red and I would like to collaborate on a video soon and like just kind of work together and show what we like about something and make the video together and put it on our channels. And I think that would be enjoyable for you guys to watch. I think we can do a good video for you and it'll be worth your 20 minutes of your time while you're having a matcha and a bagel or something. It's great.
Exactly. Whenever you're drinking a matcha, don't just use a straw. You do not want to walk into an interview with a green mustache. Let me tell you. Just do that.
I'm feeling like
use a straw.
I feel like there's a story there where you walk in with green nog lip and yeah.
No. I'm like, is there something on my? Yes.
Not so much
Terry,
here.
thanks so much. Really appreciate you, man. It's nice.
Drew
you
says
guys
Red
are
takes
awesome.
his hat off behind a paywall, by the way. Yeah, he does.
I do, yeah. Well, the paywall. You guys are so supportive in chat. I'm always in chat in Colt's show every single week, and I'm always lurking if I'm not trolling everyone. So you'll see me there. I'm just Red Wolf, which is my personal channel. I need to sort of try to like migrate all my subs over to my actual channel account, if that makes any sense. Jonas and I talked about that, so you guys can recognize me. But the support in the community is just so it's overwhelming. Really, makes you feel weird, like in a good way. You're like, I don't know what to do with all this positivity and stuff. It's you guys are just awesome.
There's a lot of negativity out there, but there are far more people that are excited about games, love celebrating them. And I've noticed that the content and happy people don't have much to say other than sitting back saying, hey man, I like that video. And I don't often hit the like button as much as I should, because sometimes you're just like, I don't know, there's so much great content out there. And I think the negative part gets a light on it too often. Almost everything I watch is like, I'm excited about this, or this is cool.
Yeah, and I would much rather. It's so refreshing to see content creators get a spotlight on them whenever they're really, really excited about something, And like I say in my videos, if you're here to crap on someone, don't even bother leaving a comment, because no one cares to hear your negativity. Thank you so much.
And I use that clip on Twitter all the time because I'm like, hey, I'm excited to see Avowed's third-person combat. And someone's like, game looks mid. And I'm like, and a red clip.
Right.
So on the corner here, down here, I've got the Gears E-Day promo that I'm working with Xbox Fan Art. Normally, we give the codes out live in the chat, but I'm going to do something different today, and I'll check with the mods. I don't think we gave away any coins officially yet tonight, but what I'm going to do is when the show wraps, when we're done here in a couple minutes, it'll be on demand. If you give a comment in the final comment section, right after the show wraps, there'll be like no comments there. I want you to comment and say, love the show. I want me some Gears E-Day coin, something like that. Say something nice and say you want the coin. And what we'll do is we'll pick 3 or 4 winners. If I haven't given anybody, Noise Mumble goes, I guess I'll unsubscribe.
I saw that.
What we'll do is on the on-demand, when it's
awesome.
all wrapped and no longer says it's live, you can leave a comment there and it's there forever instead of seeing the live chat. Give a comment, say something you liked about the show and something about wanting the Gears E-Day coin, and we will pick 4 winners. And how that works is you can contact me via email, at colteastwooddesign@gmail.com. And when I pick the winners, and I send you a form, and the coin will be shipped directly to you. It's all set up. It's really cool. So True 77 says, comment to Colt about the timestamps. I haven't done them the past couple weeks. I will do
as soon as the show ends. Where's the timestamps?
Yeah, and for the timestamp people, after doing the 2-hour show, like I get kind of exhausted because we are a little bit crazy, and then I sit there and I have to scrub through all of my annoying voice for 2 hours to do the timestamps. It drives me absolutely crazy. If anyone wants to help with timestamps, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I'll try and do them every week because I owe it to you all. You're amazing. Red, what are you going to be playing this week? And are we going to have time to get together and start working on a collab?
Yes, the answer is yes. We are going to do a video together because I'm feeling it, and I just want to get it. It's like in the back of my mind, so that will be happening. That will be happening. What I'll be playing, I'm going to try to finish Dragon Age 2 because my Game Pass ends. Thankfully, and I say thankfully because I have a lot of games. I'm a physical media kind of guy, and I have a lot of games that I've bought physically that I haven't been able to put the disc in. And I know I'm in the minority there, but Dragon Age is on Game Pass. So I'm going to finish Dragon Age 2 because I actually own Dragon Age Inquisition. And when I get into Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm going to take my time and play it like Skyrim and just really take my time leading up to the release of Veilguard. So I'll be getting into that. And I'm super addicted to Starfield right now. It's so hard for me to not play that game. I'm like, you need to stop. And I'm like, I just want to go and check out the mods. And then I'm in the mod menu for like 5 hours. So that's what I'll be doing. Finishing up Dragon Age and working with you on the collab video that everyone can check out tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to put exactly. Start rushing. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And Cole, thank you so much, man, for having me on. It's always such a fun time. And again, everyone, I know not everyone's cup of Joe, but if you liked my Joe, I don't know. You can find me at Red Wolf Renegade on Twitter and on YouTube. That's Red Wolf Renegade on Twitter and YouTube. The only Red Wolf Renegade on Twitter and YouTube, apparently. So look at that. Look at me go.
That's a pretty common name, but I'm the only one there. Yeah, and I'm
the
like
only
I
one
said,
there, bro.
His videos aren't super long, so if you go check out and sub, like there's a couple of them that if you go by Popular at least, watch a few of those and kind of get a taste of the flavor of the Flavor Flav. It's great. It's good.
Taste of the Joe.
I don't know what I'll be playing. I think I'm gonna mess around with First Descendant tomorrow. But like I said, I've been dabbling on games, like feeling lost because I really want something new. So I'm excited about this collab video because Red and I talked behind the scenes. We want to end the video like this, like side by side, talking about the content that we're going to make. So I think it's going to be really cool. A lot of good stuff coming. So yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, if you're still here, we're going to end the show in just a second. And that's when you can leave your comment about what you thought of the show and asking for the Gears coin. You can use an emoji if you want, like the little cog thing if you want, that'll help. Let me go to the thing so you guys don't have to wait around. And we're going to get out of here. We'll be here next week with the mag. Maybe I'll bring in a guest depending on what's going on. You guys are amazing. Red, thank you so much for being here. Hope you get a couple subs and we'll talk this week. Where's the outro button? I don't know. It's right here.
It's right there.
See
you got
ya.
it.
Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye.